And California Pete's Kitchen, it's all cracker.
What's with the meaningless chit chat there, philosopher and nonsense? I was thinking, how is it the flat earthers were able to outsmart every scientist, every mathematician, every astrologist that ever lived? How did that happen? How was that possible that we were able to figure out that the Earth is not a globe spinning, flying through space, and you guys still have that belief? So the question is this a religious belief that you guys have?
All right, Kimo, if you think
is it nurture or is it nature?
Hold on. If you think you outsmarted all the world's scientists, why are you just on YouTube and not out there actually doing anything productive to advance humanity?
Absolutely.
And
there's
people who do believe in the globe are the ones who do actually advance humanity.
Sure. Yeah. There's censorship. There's a blackout. There's a control of a narrative. Hey, you just asked me a question. Why didn't you let me answer it? Goodness sake, you just said, why aren't you flat earthers out there showing that you're all outsmarted the scientists? Now think about what I'm saying here. We have outsmarted the scientists. Now, group of flat earthers are not going to be able to just walk in the front door and say, hey, you guys have all got it wrong. You've made a mistake.
Nobody takes you serious.
You see what I'm saying here, philosopher? So it's not like we can just go out there.
Like someone who thinks coronavirus is a fake.
It's not like we can just go out there and say, "Hey, Brian Cox. Hey, Neil deGrasse. You cannot demonstrate that we live on a globe. We can show that water is flat and level and requires a force to conform around the exterior of an object."
Absolutely can, but you'll just hand wave it away.
We could go show.
Are not the same things. They are not synonyms.
No, but I'm just answering your question of why we haven't moved forward in the sense of why this isn't where you think it should be, like with media attention.
Sure.
Well, it's time to move forward then.
Are you saying that it should? So hold on. What I'm trying to find out: are you saying it should have media attention, or it should be in schools, or what should be happening with flat Earth?
So, Kimo, what you're saying is that you have completely debunked all of science. You guys are the top geniuses in the world, and the only reason why anyone believes anything else is because you are being oppressed by a majority.
Right, that's what you asked.
Interesting.
Well, you asked how comes we're not out there in the bigger picture. So I'm thinking, do you mean like the media? Are you talking about schools? Because if you think about it, hold on. If you think about it, everywhere in the world now is aware of flat Earth, right? So there's not a country that doesn't really know.
No, actually, no.
Like, who doesn't know about flat Earth today?
There's a lot of people who don't know about
who?
Flat Earth theory.
Who? Where?
99.5% of the population.
Yeah, but I don't mean people in like a hospital who are in a coma. I'm just talking about which country doesn't know about flat Earth.
No, I'm saying 99.95% of the world's population wouldn't even be aware that flat Earth was a thing. I nearly drove off the road when I found out that people in the year 2018 thought the Earth was flat.
Yeah, but it's not 90. It's the awareness isn't full, but it's not.
Well, there's people that are aware of it and definitely know that, yeah, that's bullshit, and then they don't even bother thinking about it anymore because, well, they know it's obvious bullshit. So not really 95%, but I'd say, well, I couldn't give a percentage because I'm sorry, I haven't polled all 7.8 billion
these
people.
These things are impossible to know. How can you know the percentage of these things?
Well, we can poll and you could do a statistical analysis on it, and then you could create an inference from that poll on then the percentage of people, and then you look at your sample size and quality to actually establish a reliable view on those statistics.
In other words, he just went through all that to say we just make it up.
No, that's not making it up.
We're offering our guesstimation.
Not making things up.
So, philosopher, I'm trying to figure out if you have religion or if you have science, because how it stands at the moment, you don't have any science to back up the heliocentric model, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so what is that?
It's actually irrefutable and insurmountable.
Okay,
we just refuse to accept it.
Sure, what is that science?
I'm sorry, we don't have time to run into the entire science of the shape of the Earth. It's been proven outstandingly by preponderance of the evidence, and there's a small minority of people who believe that it's flat or
That's
otherwise
true.
not round.
That's true.
A small
Everything you're
minority,
saying so far
and they are
is
the ones. They are the ones
Mhm.
who are prosecuting the notion that the Earth is a globe.
you're true so
So
far.
by-
Everything you're saying is true. So you're saying
Okay,
there
so
is.
you agree with me so far. I hope that's on tape.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I get it. So
Now-
you're saying out there,
now,
you're
as the
saying
minority-
there are millions.
as the
Well, I didn't even say
minority-
million, but you're saying there are a lot of people out there who have proven the globe, and there are a small group who doubt that they've actually proven the globe. That's true.
Yes.
So-
thank you for reiterating. I was there. Now I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
finished
yeah.
though. I'm
So,
not finished though. What I'm saying
Oh.
is that because you guys are the minority,
mm,
the preponderance of evidence falls upon you to show proof to the contrary. Yet you cannot show any actual provable and debunkable proof or a disprovable proof that the Earth is actually flat. There's no photographs of the firmament. There's no photographs of the ice wall. There's no photograph or any other consistent evidence to show that there is flat Earth. There is zero evidence of a flat Earth. There is loads of evidence, an unbelievable amount of evidence showing that the Earth is a globe. Yet you deny it. You call pictures from space, actual photographic pictures from space, and you call those fake. Yet you cannot substantiate that claim. For example, that's one of many examples. You make a lot of claims, but you cannot substantiate any of them with actual irrefutable proof.
okay. So
do you
now I
that,
know that you're I know that you're a very.
Sentence,
Hold on a second there, Dress.
in the middle of a sentence, you interrupted me. Please stop.
Yeah, I was responding to a philosopher
So
here.
I was trying to get my point out in the middle of a sentence. You wait.
Philosopher. Now I know you're a very good listener, okay? Because you've been able to parrot the heliocentric narrative for years. Now I'm not saying that the Earth is flat, although it is. But if you were listening, as you've listened to the heliocentric model, I said to you, we have debunked and refuted all of your scientists. So everything that you believe, everything that you have studied, all of the evidence that you have produced, we have debunked. So, for example, the force of gravity, we now realize is not a force. The Earth has curvature. We now know the Earth doesn't have curvature. The vacuum of space. We now know the vacuum of space. We now know you cannot have a vacuum without a container or a vacuum next to gas pressure. So what I said to you initially in the beginning was, remember, we have debunked all of your science, all of your astrophysicists, all of your mathematicians. You see?
No, you have not.
That's the point I was trying to make.
No. Okay, you say you have proven that gas pressure cannot exist next to a vacuum. Nobody on the globe Earth side argued that.
I think Druss wants to make a point.
Because we don't have gas pressure. We have atmospheric pressure. That's because gas has weight. And the total weight of that gas as a compressible substance increases in pressure at the bottom and decreases as you go to the top until it matches the outside pressure of
Mm-hmm. I understand that.
This is a proven fact.
I understand. You're giving me your mathematical equation, and I've just told you. Practical demonstration.
Did I give an equation?
Yeah, that's how it works. That's the heliocentric
I'd like to make my point now without being interrupted.
Sure, go ahead, Druss.
Make your point.
So the point I was trying to make. So Kimo once proposed that the tides are caused by the wind. Can you believe that someone would come up with something that stupid and then claim that he's debunked the entirety of science?
That would have to be a hell of a strong and constant wind in one direction only, which I would find hard to believe possible on a flat Earth.
Mm.
Okay, have you made your point, Druss? Druss still here? Can Druss even hear me? Can't hear me, Druss. Have you turned me down?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So the idea is that when I say that we've debunked your mathematician, so the equations say that you can have a vacuum next to gas coalesce side by side. So when we try to demonstrate this practically, what we show that this is not true. So unless you can show, along with your equations, that you can have gas pressure next to a vacuum, well, then it just proves what I've just said about debunking your mathematicians and all of your scientists.
You want me to debunk that right now?
Not with a mathematical equation, no.
No, not with the mathematical equation.
Sure.
I'll do it very simply.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
There you go. You're debunked. Because sound is differences in pressure, because sound is sound waves. Vacuum is just a colloquial term meaning lesser than surrounding pressure. When you hear sound waves, you hear pressure waves. As those pressure waves propagate through the medium of air, they create wakes. And in those wakes is a lesser pressure, infinitesimally lesser, but enough that your ears detect it. And this difference in pressure causes your eardrum to vibrate. This moves the bones in your ear to trigger nerves that register to your brain to hear sound. If you can hear something, you have just demonstrated pressure without a container.
Okay.
Within a container, though, right?
They're called density pillows. They're not. Come on.
Oh yeah, join in, guys. It's not just a one-on-one.
It's density pillows.
Go for it, Matrix.
No, that's all I want to say. You know, you guys don't think it has anything to do with pressure, so it's not pressure. It's density. What are you guys going to call it? Density pillows, density...
Density molecules.
There you go, density molecules.
Sound waves are identical in behavior to waves in water. That's exactly how sound waves propagate. Water is just a thicker medium, also a liquid, just like the oxygen-nitrogen mixture that we have that we're breathing right now. Sound moves the same way.
Just faster.
And next on Science Now.
So essentially, what you're
that's
giving.
Something we can measure, Matrix. So we can test it. So if you bang on a rail, for instance, the sound will travel up that rail faster than it will travel through the air.
So
that's why they used to listen to railroad tracks to hear the train coming.
But you do realize that explanations are not demonstrations, right, philosopher?
Yes, and your explanations are not demonstrations either.
Because we haven't made any claims.
The
We didn't make any claims. You're claiming you can have gas pressure without the container. Yes?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, let's document this empty space, man.
You claimed that you debunk math, and you'd have to know math to debunk the math.
The practical demonstration debunks the maths.
How?
Debunk math.
It's not debunking the math. It's debunking the interpretation of that math.
Okay, either way, you have to know math, right? Logically.
No, because you came up with a calculation that said... Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
You have to know something to debunk it.
No, you don't have to know the math. You just have to give me the results and say, look, the mathematics say you can have gas pressure without a container. Calculations say so. We tried to test that. And if we can't be successful, then it shows the maths are wrong. You see?
No. That's not how it works. You went to school. I know you did. Okay. So.
Okay, so if it wasn't mathematics,
class,
okay.
If you went to math class, the teacher did not want you to just write the correct answer. The teacher wanted you to what? Show your work.
So let's suppose it wasn't
how you came to that conclusion, not that you lucky guessed it. So the way you got to that conclusion, the ways do justify the means, and vice versa.
Okay. So mathematics are an explanation of what you say is the real world, right?
Not what I say.
No, would you agree with that or disagree with that?
No, I would disagree.
So we don't use mathematics. Okay, so then we can rule out that then. So we can rule out mathematics.
No. I see what. No, you can try to run away from that as quickly as you can. But no, sorry.
What then? What
Your
no?
fucking
What's
finger
no?
glued right here. Okay, mathematics is very universal
Mm-hmm.
in that if you have two of one object, we call that two,
Right.
as opposed to one, right?
Okay.
One and one. Now we have two. Okay, that's mathematics.
Hi,
Whether
man.
you call
That
it
works.
two or do or whatever doesn't matter. It is still two. Mathematics is universal.
Okay.
Mathematics is how we figure a lot of things out because science works with mathematics.
This guy just sounds like a preacher. Mathematics and science. Dude, just pitch your website, bro. Just pitch your website. Go eat your Snickers,
Well,
man.
The fact that he can actually have a website and eat a Snickers and have a computer and be connected to the internet and go through all the routers and infrastructure to get to the servers
Only
to get
on
the
around
information
Earth.
Wow.
is why
Is
we can
why.
say that maths and science fucking works.
Did you just pull that one, bro? Really?
Yeah, you're here because
That's
of
like
math.
a 2016 argument, bro.
You realize that
Right,
everything
philosopher
you
of
say,
nonsense. A
every
very
vibration of
important
your
question.
voice
I
is
need to
being-
know: does mathematics describe reality or not?
Your voice is being digitized into mathematical formulas, sent over the internet, come back to my computer, retranslated back into your voice. That's
Can we
math.
use mathematics to calculate, say, the distance to the sun?
Distance of what?
To the sun.
Yes.
Okay. Can you show and demonstrate how this is done? Now, calculating it,
This
yes,
again?
but demonstrating it is a different
Trying to drag
proposition.
it back to the horizon because he knows he's losing this fucking
yeah.
battle.
First, you know, they have to
Yeah.
assume the sun is a certain size,
that
a
doesn't
certain
matter.
distance
This has
away.
been gone over with I don't know how many times, and he just keeps ignoring what he's told.
Yeah, Kimo, this was already done with trigonometry. It's trigonometry is a form of math you might not be familiar with.
Ooh, he just whipped out the
The
trigonometry.
trigonometry. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I just.
but philosopher,
looked it up.
I
I'm
know.
sorry, no, I was
How do you
for
do
this.
it with the trigonometry? Go ahead, demonstrate.
Please.
The trigonometry has shown the distance to the sun. We can triangulate the size and distance of the sun.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
It's already been
Triangulate.
done.
How does triangulation work?
That's a fucking lie. You
Not a
cannot
problem.
triangulate the distance. to the
Hey,
sun.
I got it. How does triangulation work? Real
How does? My God. Okay. Jeez.
That's a flat out lie.
You know, I
Who's
can tell you
typing?
the
Termin.
future, All right.
Right,
But
but just let him explain.
you
Just
get
let
2
him explain
points.
triangulation.
You get 2 points to determine the third.
What you get 2 points to determine. So which are the 2 points that we use to determine the sun? Which is an assumption, of course.
I can't believe none of the other Globers are standing up right now and stopping this
I'm
nonsense.
waiting to get a point in so I don't get muted, Jeremy.
No, because philosopher said you use trigonometry. Now we're asking him how it's done. That's all, Dross. So be patient and just wait to hear what he says.
Yeah, you
The
have
problem is
observers.
Josh knows where this argument
have
is going,
two
and he
observers.
wants to stop it. He wants to stop the
guys.
argument.
Exactly.
I
He's
want
trying to do it.
actually
He's just
try to
interrupting.
explain it.
I'm trying to explain it. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
You can have 2 observers monitoring the sun and watching what it does, right? Watching its motion, calculating its motion over time. Now, those 2 observers are the 2 points to determine the location of the third. That's how triangulate. It's already been triangulated. I mean, for fuck's sake, Red's rhetoric triangulated the size and speed and distance of the ISS as it traversed the moon. He did that with Astronomy Live, who was the second observer, did his own observations, and between the 2 of them, they figured out the size and speed of the ISS as it traversed the moon. They did not use anything with NASA. They did it just by themselves. Completely organic experiment. And their numbers came nearly identical to what NASA says.
So
Is the speed
let me break it down.
and size.
Right? There's 2 observers, and what are they calculating exactly? What are they putting numbers on exactly?
They're tracking the size and speed of the ISS as a
Forget
transverse
about the
moon.
ISS. We're talking about the sun, right? So there are two observers. Doesn't matter where they are. What are they tracking exactly, and how do they
That's
get
exactly
the
the
first
same way it's
About
triangulated.
the ISS and the sun.
But
No, I
again,
said ISS. That was a trigger word for them, obviously, because now
no, it's not about the ISS. I just don't want you to go on something with the ISS where we're talking about the sun. I don't care about the ISS, right?
I'm explaining the experiment which uses triangulation.
And all you have to do is swap out the ISS for the sun in the
So
example.
let's break this down. There are two observers, right? They have their pen and paper ready, right? What is the first number you put down to start? Is it the distance between both of them? All right? Is it that distance? Okay, so you write down the distance between both of them. At least we got numbers on paper, right? All right. What is the next procedure, please?
What the
So
hell are
you're
you
gonna have to
talking
get
about?
a solar filter to make sure you can see the clean rigidness of the sun if you're gonna go to angular.
I just want to know this triangulation procedure. I want him to not just say triangulation like a fucking robot and to at least visualize how this is done and explain it.
No. Don't
I was
question their
explaining
religion,
an
man.
experiment that shows how triangulation is done, and you got all triggered because I said the ISS.
Bro,
It doesn't have to do with the ISS.
nobody's
That's how
triggered because no
triangulation is done.
ISS, my guy. Nobody cares about ISS. I just want you to run us through this procedure so we, the simple-minded people, could understand it. Can you do that, Mr. Genius? Just run us through how this triangulation works.
You have two observers to calculate the movement of a third object to determine its point from your reference frame.
Again, how is this done, please?
Measurements over time. Do you know how to do that?
How? Don't keep.
No, we're asking you how. We don't
I don't know. You measure how far it moves over a given period of time. That's how.
Listen, man, Nathan Oakley is a very patient man. I tell you, bro. He's patient as a motherfucker. I'm telling you,
Mr.
how
Slap his
it's
kid.
done.
Mr. Slap his kid on the live stream is a patient man. Yeah, that shut you up real quick, didn't it?
Bro, I don't know how he deals with you guys, bro. I don't know how he does it, bro. God bless that man's soul, bro.
I don't know.
I know how he does it. He doesn't do it. That's why he hides in this little echo chamber.
But isn't the sun just 15 degrees an hour?
Why are none of the Globers standing up with this triangulation of the sun?
Yeah, none of y'all. None
Very
of y'all.
simple. It's very simple. I don't know if I'm being a little
What are we
retarded.
talking
I just
about now?
want to know.
Are we talking
Explain
about
the
the
procedure, please.
triangulation of the sun? Or
That sounds like a
talking
reasonable thing to ask, right?
This guy said you can triangulate the distance to the sun, and no one's speaking up on this.
Yeah, you
Thank
can,
you.
but you
Thank
have
you
to
for
wait.
that.
You have to wait for a transit to do a triangulation of the
That's
sun.
because there's a nice rhetoric. There is no reality in it. You could
There's
say
a
that
transit
because
of
it's
the
you
sun
gotta
every
read-
single
you
day.
can triangulate to the ISS and all this bullshit.
transit.
But it doesn't work in
Well-
reality. It's bullshit. It's assumptions.
The reason perhaps some globalists will not say anything is they've heard this argument before where flat earthers says, well, you can't do it. And they have yet to give a reason or to demonstrate why it cannot be done.
Yeah.
The Globers themselves will
we
tell you you
can't do it
can't
because
triangulate
they
the
claim you
distance
can't
to it because
triangulate the
it's too far
ISS
away.
also.
All we can do is tell you guys how to do it. You have to go and do it for yourself to be able to and know the
You can't
math.
even tell us how to
You
do
can't
it.
even
Are you-
explain
you
how
can't
to
even
do
tell
it.
us
No,
how-
as to how to do it, that's a lie. That information is a Google search away.
But you don't know it, and you're acting like you believe it based off of everybody else.
Number one, I don't do anything, and number two, I don't believe it. I know it.
Phil, what curved at him?
Jeremy, why can't we do it?
It's obvious you
Why
don't know
Jeremy?
it. It's obvious.
Jeremy, let Jeremy repeat that, please. Jeremy, why can't we do it? Because it's what?
I've been told by you guys multiple times that you can't triangulate the distance to the sun. You say you can to the moon, but you can't to the sun because it's too far away.
All right. I don't think anybody's going to say we
There
can't.
you go. I just
do
put it in the debate chat.
But a
I've been
straight,
told-
simple triangulation from like two observers on the Earth to the sun, because of its distance, you're very limited in your precision and accuracy on this. You can't get much of a base, and the slightest little angle variation translates into huge variations in the distance. That's why you're not going to hear me say that we can get a reasonable distance to the sun, reasonable accuracy by just triangulating from 2 points on the Earth. That
Is it fair to say that will also be a 100% assumption?
Hold on. Hey, Mongo J, I'm almost done. That is not to say that there are no methods by which to measure and calculate that distance. And again, it has been measured with radio, so I don't see what the big deal is.
You see what happens when you break down the rhetoric, when they can't just say, "Oh, you're stupid. You don't understand this. You're dumb." Right? But when you ask them for an actual explanation of what they're talking about, they can't provide it.
Mongo J, what just happened?
I just provided it. You chose not to listen.
Huh?
Well, I'm concerned to speak because every time I try and speak, Kimo mutes me. So that's why I'm keeping quiet.
Well, if Kimo agrees not to be a coward of
you have to wait. If you want to independently verify the distance to the sun, you have to wait for a Mercury or Venus transit, which happens usually a few times within a lifetime. Can't do it every day, but it can be done. And it's easy to do now that you have high-speed communication with everybody on Earth, so you can do two simultaneous measurements and easily determine the distance to the sun via that.
Oh, would you be able to point out why that's so easy when you have the transit? What do you get?
It gives you a point of reference that you can measure precisely how much shift is occurring between the two. You have to have two observers on the Earth as far apart as possible. So you'd want to have one on one side of the Earth and one on the other that are still able to see the sun, to see the transit.
To present parallax.
So that makes the base of the base of the triangle, and then by measuring how much that object shifts against the transit, by looking at where it is at a particular moment in time with the two observers, you can get the angles from both of the observers, and then that will give you the angles of the triangle that you can use to complete and find the distance and solve it. Right. It's just simple trigonometry from there.
Right. It just has to assume Mercury's a rigid object that it would always wouldn't have any effects
we
from
do it
observers
with Venus.
at different distances. Yeah, I understand that there's some assumptions there, but you could have just said the parallax.
Yeah, we do it with Venus. We do it with Venus, not Mercury.
The simple way to put it is that if
you can do it,
I didn't know that.
Hold on, just give me a second here. Just give me a second here. The simple way to prove, the simple way to understand it is that if you know one side of a triangle, and you know that the other two sides go at a particular angle, it's an equilateral triangle if it goes by the usual set of degrees. Not going to mention, don't want to give that away, but you know that if at the end of that triangle, to complete that triangle, you have to make a certain degree of turn at either end. If you know the angles at both of those ends, you can find the third point by following those angles to their logical, quote-unquote, conclusion where they will meet. That's called triangulation.
One problem with that, just one. You said it a few times. I don't know if you flat earthers heard it. The very important thing is you said it multiple times. You know what you're doing, what you're calculating, we don't know. So, do you have some sort of margin of error calculation going on?
That's a choice on your part to not know it, Matrix. That is you choosing not to know.
We can all work on something.
In this case, that's you choosing not to.
And Matrix, your words betray you because you just said what you calculate, we don't know. That's exactly what we're trying to tell you. Is you don't know. We're trying to help you understand, but you refuse to accept the evidence because you're insistent on some conspiracy theory.
No. What conspiracy theory? You're trying to say, you said we know to determine this, but we don't know the distance to these things. We have an assumption that we work in some sort of beautiful mathematical formula, to impress us because they like the numbers, but we don't know these things.
Matrix said that's your choice not to know.
Matrix, you said what conspiracy theory?
How do
Why?
we?
Why
So
is
explain to
why
me,
is
how
the
do we
Earth
go
flat
to
then?
know these things? How does one go from point zero to point zero, not
No,
knowing
no, no,
where
no,
you're
no.
going?
Stop.
Can you
Stop.
explain
Hold
that
on.
to me real simple? Real simple.
Hold on. You said what conspiracy? So you insist that the shape of the Earth is a conspiracy by NASA, where they're faking videos and faking photos to show that the Earth is round when it is in fact actually flat. So you say what conspiracy? You're the one touting the conspiracy. We're the ones who are actually trying to break it down so you understand why this conspiracy does not hold water.
But you're making a jump.
If
You're
we
not
talk
even
about
establishing if there's any curvature. You're just avoiding the implications that stem from no curvature and saying, well, this conspiracy can't be. Therefore, we're going to ignore the lack of curvature from laser tests. You got to start with the foundation.
Deeper and everything. So your opinion really does not qualify as scientific
I've got a question in, if you don't mind, Professor.
You're going in the wrong order, though. You need to establish curvature first.
So I just wanted to ask Matrix a question very, very quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
If you've got a cylinder, yeah, and you know the diameter of that cylinder, and you know the cc of the engine, without measuring the depth, could you tell me the depth of the pull on the cylinder?
If you don't have all the information, I doubt that you could get anything accurate.
No, you've got the CCs. No, wait, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't call fucking people idiots. He's not coming in here and being an idiot. He's actually asking some reasonable questions at times, even if he's ignoring a lot of shit, which is frustrating. However, you know the CC of the cylinder, and you know its diameter.
Can you work out the compression ratio? Is what you're asking me?
No, we didn't say anything about compression
That would depend on the engine, the type of fuel you're burning, the richness of the fuel, and what you're looking to get out from the performance. And no, I'm not a mechanic, mate, and you know more on this than I do.
But that's what you're pretty much asking me.
No, I'm asking you for the length of pull. So the length of pull. So if you know the diameter and you know the cylinder is X cc's, you can work out the length of pull of the cam.
Maybe I'm not understanding your terms, but what you mean by length of pull?
Well, I'm not a mechanic.
Let me try to rephrase this because I know engines. Okay, let me try to rephrase this.
I just don't think I understand his terminology.
Hold on, Matrix. Yeah. I'm gonna try to translate for you. Okay.
It's a really fair question.
If you know,
oh, you're talking about the stroke. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if you know the compression ratio and you know the diameter of the cylinder, shouldn't you be able to extrapolate what the stroke of that cylinder is?
Yeah. Of course.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah. I just didn't understand how he was putting it. Yeah, you should be able to. You should be able to, and it should be. And it should be as accurate as possible. The problem is when you start comparing our physical things with something that, as far as we know, we can't access it. So
cool.
It's a good analogy, but it don't work the same.
So let me do another one. Let's take this out. So now we're trying to say, how high is a tree? I want to cut a tree down, and I want to know how high it is. There's a number of ways you can do it. One is using the shadow at a certain time of day. But the best way is, again, to use trigonometry. Because what we can do is, if we know the distance I am from the tree, and I can measure the angle to the top, I will know how tall it is. So that way, I know I can cut it down and it's not going to crash through my house. Now, I haven't physically measured that tree, but that measurement is reasonably accurate. And I like the fact you brought in tolerance, how accurate is the measurement, because that's important. And I think, and let's say that, we fucked it up a bit. What we can say, it's not 3,500 miles away. We can say that. We can say that it's definitely not less than 50 million miles away, because that would be a huge error in our calculations.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we know between 1 million and 93 million? Like, where is the margin of error? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is perfect? Everything is so blanket that it's just big and far away. It seems like too much of a blanket statement.
Yeah, and that's why that was a good question, because I always like, when I do measurements, I always have to consider my margin of error, because if what I'm trying to fucking measure is smaller than my margin of error, I'm fucked. It's the same way if you're trying to get a good seal and the tools you got aren't accurate enough for the job, you'd probably, you might get a good seal out of luck, but you might not, or whatever the mechanical term for that kind of tolerance is. So that's where I'm coming from. So for us to fuck it up that badly and that consistent, isn't that a fair question?
It is a fair question. This is what we ask ourselves every day.
Yeah, and that's all I ask you to think about.
Are you asking me because what you're trying to conclude, and this is just me thinking, I might be wrong, that because these people have dedicated such time and effort and numbers and trigonometry, that there's a possibility that they can't be wrong?
No, I'm saying that let's say they're a little bit wrong. Because I always think that most things are a little bit wrong, because I work in the world of everything's always a little bit wrong. So I can say there's wiggle room. So if someone said, it's 93 million miles away, is it plus or minus 5%, plus or minus 10%? Plus or minus 30%, we're starting to get into some big errors.
So I guess his direct question is, are you thinking that there's no chance they could kind of be completely wrong? I think that's his question.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry.
Listen, at this point, I don't even doubt the math. It isn't about the math. I think that what they're interpreting, because math is a language. Math it isn't going to tell you what it is. It's literally going to give you a description of it. You have to interpret it. It's up to every scientist to interpret the data. I think that's where they go wrong in the interpretation of that data.
But do you really think that they misinterpret the data so wildly that they don't know the difference between 93 million miles and 3,000 miles? I mean, that's a huge astronomical margin of error.
Again, how does that's why I was asking, how does one know this in reality? How does one determine this? And this is why I was asking the triangulation method. Because if it's all assumption, you could just assume, hey, it's 50 million miles away, it's a mile. Like, you could just assume anything because you don't really know. So this is why I was asking these questions.
I don't like the word assumption, because we have a method. There's a method that's being put into it, and it's a method that you can use and repeat.
Well, let me defend that.
So and just coming back from something I do know, because I'm not very good at the triangulation, so that's not my style.
So let me defend that then. Have you guys seen the Dr. Zach thing? You know what I'm saying? It shows if you have a lens effect, you can triangulate to a much closer sun. Have y'all?
Yeah. And so I was going to go into something where I feel much more confident because I understand the principles much better myself rather than the sun. I if I'm honest on my own myself, with my knowledge of maths, I couldn't tell you how far the sun was. I could go and look at how to do it, and I might be able to figure it out. But there are a lot of underlying principles that I can't claim to understand.
And just at the end of the day, you could probably write a beautiful mathematical equation. I believe it's probably something very impressionable. A lot of. But would you be able to say this is 100% what's going on? Would you be able to say that?
But for the sun, no, because that's not my shtick. Sorry, Jeremy, you're trying to get a word in. I'm going to let Jeremy speak. He's been trying to get in like 4 or 5 times.
What if you're trying to triangulate the distance to a reflection? How's that going to work out?
Well, reflections we wouldn't do that for. So, the example I was going to do was the distance to the moon, because I feel much more happy about how that's done. Because it's something I've kind of used myself in lots of different stuff.
The problem with using optical principles is based on optics, perspective lines that are parallel appear to converge the way they would with a Euclidean triangle on paper, with lines that are actually moving together, versus optical lines that actually stay parallel and never meet but appear to converge due to perspective. So perspective can be a real pickle when you try to model it.
Why is it that you can use parallax to calculate the distance of the moon and then do a radial bounds and calculate the time delay and then get the same answer?
That's still more.
I'm sorry. Real quick. Can you explain parallax, please?
I thought I just did a moment ago, but I'll explain it to you again because I see you're a little slow. You have to figure out the base of a triangle and then the angles of that around that base, and then you can figure out all the dimensions of the triangle.
Again,
which will include the
again,
distance
again,
to the
again.
point that
This
you're
is
both
just a
looking
slow
at.
guy asking a question, right? The slow guy, right? You said parallax. I asked you to explain parallax, and
I
then
just told you.
and then you
I
told me
just
that you
told
have
you
to
what
start
it
with
is.
triangulation. What was the conclusion with the triangulation discussion again?
Whoa, you're not going to try to pull that.
See, I explained. I
Oh, you're
explained
not going to try to pull what?
like
Common
7
sense?
different ways, and then he brings it up again, completely showing that he's not listening to anything that we're saying at all.
I'll just explain parallax. It's triangles. You need a triangle, so you need to assume that the Earth is moving to make the bottom leg of your triangle big enough with parallax,
You
with
don't
the
have to
object
assume
seeming
the
to
Earth
move
is
in space
moving.
from one time of the year to the other time of the year. You make a triangle, and based off of solving that triangle, you make the distances based off of the assumption that the Earth is moving for the bottom leg of your triangle. There.
That's a very
Not
cool,
for a measurement
cool
to the moon,
story,
though.
bro.
That was
But you're
exactly
talking
what I
about
meant,
actual things.
Lemon Bird. Thank you.
Lemon Bird, that was a very good little monologue there, but you gotta
Common
work in the
sense,
script a little bit.
reason, no ego, no bloviation. Just get to the point.
I don't think they don't have that, Lemon Bird. They don't have the ego part. They still have the high ego thing.
Rather than
Guys,
lemon hijack.
I'm actually going to duck out now because I'm not going to stay in a room where Kimo's going to be moderating like this. I've tried to make space for other people. I've tried to keep my points short and concise, and I'm getting frequent references in the chat that I'm mic hogging, which I don't think I am. If anyone thinks I am, I apologize. But Kimo, you can go and fuck yourself, you anti-Semitic, homophobic piece of motherfucking shit. Good night.
What? No, he was being very polite.
Charles, chill out, bro. Go smoke a blunt, son. Go drink, son. Just relax.
Look, we love our gays. We love the Jews. There's no problem. We all love each other. Let's just get to the truth here, okay?
You know, Lemon Bird, that might have been the most intellectually honest thing you may have ever said that I've ever heard from.
Listen, why is it that you guys get to treat Lemon Bird like that? Why do you guys say that he's anti-intellectual? I understand exactly what he's saying at every moment.
Because he just comes in here and he makes shit up, and he even admits.
At no moment he's making anything up. The problem is he's not using the terminologies that you don't like. You know, he doesn't sound like Einstein, and you guys are putting him down, and that's fucked up.
You are so foolish. You're
All he
such a
does
fool.
is make shit up. That's what Lemon Bird does. That's what he's famous for, is making up word salad on the spot that he just thought of that second.
Or maybe you guys just can't handle that a non-intellectual knows more than you. Maybe it's just a tactic to put a person down, to win the audience somehow.
How about maybe, Matrix, that you can't handle people who are more intellectually capable than you?
He's got a book out on it.
Can you handle someone who is more intellectually capable than you?
I haven't
Are
met
you
that person
willing
yet, but you
to
can
admit that you are wrong in front of somebody who literally knows more about this than you ever will dream of?
Let's talk
Can
about
you
this.
do
Let's
that?
talk about this. Let's talk about this knowing. How can you describe what is it that this person knows that I don't know?
Well, first of all, we know what parallax is. And we know that we can independently verify the distance of the moon with two completely separate methods that converge to the same answer.
Again.
There's no
Remember,
reason
I'm
for that
simple.
to
Remember,
work
I'm simple.
if it didn't work.
I remember, I'm simple, right? You said parallax. You know what I'm saying? That's too much. You know, letters in them words. I can't understand. So just explain to me, how is this done? Just real quick.
I just told you, you take two observers as far apart on the Earth as possible that can still see the same object at the same time. And then you have to know the distance between those two people. That gives you the length of the base of one of the triangles. And then you measure the difference in the angle between what the two people observe. And then that gives you the two angles at the base of the angle. And with that information, you can determine the rest of the dimensions of the triangle, which will include the distance.
Can you repeat that? What was the first thing you said? The absolute first.
The first thing I said, you have to have two observers.
And then?
And then you have to know the distance between those two.
Exactly. You have to know the distance to what? What was that again?
The two observers, you fool. And that's
the
not,
third one.
That's not hard to figure out.
How do you figure out the distance to the third object again? Just repeat it. Remember, I'm
you
slow.
measure it.
Whoa,
Wow. That's what I'm asking.
No.
It's not a measurement with a physical operation. It is a measurement based on the travel rate of light, which can vary depending on the conditions in which the light is traveling.
Lemon Bird needs help talking.
You're not gonna jump all over this like this unimpeded. Now, goddamn it, Mongo, he did not say anything in there about
Smokey. Do you have a reading problem, bro? Smokey, do you have a reading problem?
Fucking asshole.
Matrix.
You cock smoking.
Shut the fuck up, Matrix.
Do you have a reading problem?
Me here, you fucking retard. He did not say anything about the distance to the third object when he said the distance between the two observers. Why did you try to slip that in like that? You dishonest, retarded fuck.
That wasn't what I was doing. What we're doing in triangulation is figuring out the distance. Right? This is what we're doing in triangulation. Right? We both know the point from one person to the other.
You figure it out.
I have to figure out, and I'm asking him how, and that's what I'm waiting for.
You're not asking. He starts to explain, and then you fucking jump on him and say, "Aha! I got you because I'm stupid and I don't understand what you're saying."
He says you have to start with the two observers, and then we have to know. We have to know the distance of their object. And that's the problem. How do we know it?
Fucking minds.
Thank you, Paul Kayo, for posting that picture. That's how triangulation works. If you are still confused about how triangulation works, why don't you look at that picture and figure it out? Or maybe first,
that's very impressive. All those numbers.
And I don't want to hear from you, Lemon Bird, because you're just alluding the chat.
But isn't that all a giant assumption?
No, it's not an assumption. Just because you
don't like that word, Lemon Bird. They don't like the word assumption. Which is
it's based off of the assumption of it being a globe partially that is moving in space. And the thing is, you're talking about a measurement of light, but light hasn't been measured.
Lemon,
what's up?
Excuse me. You can measure the angles and the lengths of a triangle with one measurement and two angles. All right? Do you understand this?
Yeah, that's what I just explained to all of you. And you still don't get it.
No. Listen. Now, let me
the
finish.
assumption that the Earth is moving.
Wait. No. It's got nothing to do. No. The single point of the triangle has nothing to do with it fucking moving.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's based off optical geometry, which changes dramatically depending on your visual reference frame. And also, you're talking about the
Lemon Bird
is conflating the measurements that you do.
as a perspective, parallel lines appear to converge.
Oh my God.
When you have stars that are within the measurable tolerance of doing a parallax measurements, which are only the closest stars, you use the orbit of the Earth and take measurements 6 months apart to get the base of your triangle. Because the distance to the stars are so far, you need a gigantic base in order to exceed the accuracy of your measurement, because the angular difference is so tiny.
That breaks Occam's razor. And also, you're going off of theoretical notions of how light travels.
Lemon Bird, you don't know what Occam's razor is. Don't talk about it.
You're making up a bunch of stuff to prop up your theory when the simple thing is that the sun, moon, and stars are moving around an unmoving Earth without all of those bells and whistles.
Why are you breaking Occam's razor? God, it does sound fancy, though. It does sound fancy.
Point of privilege. I'm going to create a point of privilege right now. All right. One thing you guys have forgotten, that all you're doing is you're measuring a damn triangle. It has nothing to do with the motion of the moon or the Earth or the galaxy or the universe or any of that. You've got two observers. You've got a distance between the two observers. All you need to do is get the angles from those observers to the third point. You don't need the distance to work out the fucking distance.
That's why they threw in the
orbit. This guy just told you that you had to take a triangle 6 months out of the year with the assumption that the Earth is moving to get the bottom leg. What are you talking about?
The stars, Lemon Bird. Only if you're trying to do a measurement of the stars, because you need a gigantic base.
So what you're talking about only works for the moon. Thank you.
Point of order. All right. I just want to bring up that the reason that people are able to be located by their cell phones through cell towers is through triangulation. They determine by two cell towers where the signal is and the angle at which that signal came from to determine the third point where those two lines intersect. That is triangulation. That is how it works in the military. That's how it works in every form where you use triangulation.
In this triangulation, 2 points are the antennas, and the third will be on land. Am I correct?
You know the angles because you know the distance between the two sources.
Again, the 2 points will be the two antennas, and the third point will be the person with the phone or whatever, right? Is this what you're trying to say? But it doesn't work the same when you're talking about something that's up there.
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry.
You get it?
Realize
It
that
don't
had
work the
limited
same.
numbers.
It doesn't work the same because you know exactly where the person on the land is with the two antennas. It's physical, right?
Okay,
how can you do that with something that's up there?
No,
How can you do
I
that?
want you to explain to me how math only works for a certain distance. Because as I recall, numbers do not actually run out. Numbers go to infinity. So you tell me how triangulating between 50 miles is different than triangulating from 50 million miles.
Numbers are numbers. It all comes down to the interpretation of the data.
I want you to
I'm
tell
not
me
saying
what the
that the
last
numbers are
number
wrong
is.
or the mathematical triangulation. It's all fancy and beautiful, right?
Oh,
but
yeah,
the
it's all fancy
interpretation
and
of what you
beautiful.
guys have calculated is what's wrong.
I want you to explain to me where mathematics ends, where numbers can only just stop. What is the last number in all of math? What is the last number? Please tell me that.
Really?
I'm sure all of the world's scientists would love to know what the last number is.
Really?
Yes, really.
Show me the highest number you can write. That's the last number.
Well, can you write a Googleplex?
Jeremy, go mop a fucking floor.
No, that's heavy equipment. That's too talented for me.
Yeah, write the biggest number you can. That's the last number.
Oh, really? Okay, so if I write in numbers that are 10 feet tall and paper to cover the earth, and I can't write anymore, that's the largest number?
This is a waste of time, man. This is like a fifth grade argument, bro. Come on, man. This is bullshit.
Okay. All right. No, Matrix. All right. No, I'll follow your lead. All right. Let's get to the core of the argument. If the Earth is flat and NASA and all the space agencies are covering it up, you tell me why.
Now is an appeal to what? To my authority?
Why hide the shape of the Earth?
So you're trying to appeal to my authority?
That's
You
an
have
argument.
no authority. I'm not
because
why hide the shape of the Earth? That's what I'm asking.
You're not talking about the shape of the Earth. You're incredulous as to the conspiracy to hide the shape of the Earth. That's a different discussion.
I wasn't talking to you.
You haven't proven there's a conspiracy.
Do you want an opinion? Because I can't give you.
Why hide the shape of the Earth?
Do you want an opinion? Do you want an opinion?
No, I want a fact. Why hide the shape of the Earth?
Can you give me a way that I could get those facts for you? Just throw out any way that I can.
I'm not your mother. I'm not going to teach you how to use the internet. Okay? Why hide the shape of the Earth? Why? What is the motivation? What is the end? What is the end all reason for hiding the shape of the Earth?
Listen to what you just said. I'm not your mother. We all have the internet, and in the same breath, you're asking.
Stop dodging the question.
I'm not dodging any question.
Yeah, you are.
You're telling me that you have the internet, and then you're telling me to give me a personal reason of why this is going on, as if somehow I'm the arbiter of these things.
If you have any credibility at all about what you're saying,
can you please tell me what credibility is?
And can shut up and let me talk. Unless you're a Poe, you can explain to me why hide the shape of the Earth.
Can you please explain to me
what the end all motivation of this is?
What is credibility? What is it?
Oh, shut the fuck up asking what credibility is. Who the fuck are you?
I want to know what does
he asked you a question. You want to know what credibility means?
I'm going to answer. He defines what does credibility mean? I just want to know.
Credibility means something you don't have.
So when you go to the supermarket and you buy something, do you need credibility? Like, how do you use
credit?
This word?
You twit.
That's why I'm asking him. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Willing to believe them in your place. So
Dab,
you didn't
Dab,
do
you see
the
what I just did
research,
there?
but you're going to give them credit for doing it properly and
Will you
believing what they
please?
say based off of credit and credibility.
Oh my God, I wish there were certain frequencies that I could turn off and filter out like on a radio.
You're
But
just going to spend 5 minutes not giving him a
Dab,
definition. Just cut to the
shut up,
point.
Lemon Bird.
Cut to
I'm
the
not talking to
chase.
you. Dab, did you see what I
Takes
just
so
did
much
there?
time.
Yeah.
Did you see what I just did
exactly.
there? He just
Exactly.
he cannot avoid the question. He dodged it right there. He cannot answer the question. He doesn't have an answer for it.
Who does that have the answers?
No,
Point me to
you
that
don't
direction.
have any
Your
answers, mate.
claim.
Point me to the direction of
your
whoever has
claim.
the answers.
It's your claim that the shape of the Earth is being hidden by some shadow government conspiracy. So explain why.
Did I claim that? When did I claim that?
You
When
said
was
the
it
Earth
that
is
I said this?
flat.
Did I say this? At what moment did I say this? That
Okay,
the Earth
well,
is flat.
where's your evidence? Where's your
Yeah.
evidence that the Earth is
Inquiry
flat?
is
Credible
disorganized.
evidence.
Look for the evidence for the shape of the Earth
Lemon,
first, then
shut
move on
up.
to the other stuff that is based off of
Lemon,
that pillar. Your
Lemon,
inquiry is
Lemon.
disorganized and therefore will go
Lemon,
nowhere.
no one wants to
Lemon,
hear you.
I'm going to
Shut up.
reorganize this inquiry. Okay? Matrix, is the Earth flat?
I don't know.
Right then, shut up about flat Earth.
Why?
Because you don't know.
So because I say I don't know, you assume I don't have the facts or have done the research to
You
determine.
just said
Oh
you
my
don't
God.
know.
Is someone recording that? Did someone record that?
What would I tell you? What would I tell you then?
I just said, is the Earth flat? You said, I don't know. And then you're telling me you've got the facts that it is?
Okay,
That's a lie.
that's not what I said. What is the Earth? What shape? What shape
That's
is this
exactly
rock
what
sitting
you
on?
said.
That's exactly
Alright.
what you said. And now you're trying to pose another question to divert from the original question.
What was the original question?
If the Earth
Is the Earth
flat,
flat?
yeah, is the Earth flat? Just
Happy
that one.
Father's Day.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Right then.
No.
Shut up about the shape of the Earth then.
Why
So
do
why
I
do you
have, why
insist
do I
on
have
the
to,
Earth is
why do I
flat?
have to stop asking questions about something because
No,
it doesn't
because
prove
you
somehow your
don't
narrative?
know that the Earth is flat.
You don't know
don't
the
know.
Earth is flat, but
Do
you're
you know that
positive
the Earth
that it is. That's why
a
you're
sphere? Do
arguing
you
it.
know that? Do you know for a fact that the Earth is a sphere?
No.
Yes.
No. You're the one being questioned.
Oh, I'm
Matrix.
the arbiter of
Alright?
truth somehow now, right?
Stop it.
I'm the
Stop
arbiter
it.
of truth now?
All right.
Stop
No,
playing the
you
victim.
do not know that the Earth is flat. Then stop saying that it is.
Have I said that though? Have I said that the Earth is have I said it?
As I said
Dab,
earlier,
Dab.
you came charging
on the
in here
rope,
saying
Dab.
you guys are retards and wah-rah-rah for thinking that the Earth is.
But have I
a sphere.
specifically
Yeah,
said
you did.
that
Yeah,
the
you-
Earth is flat?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
Can
did.
anyone
did.
bring that recording back?
You just said several times that the Earth was flat, and I got here late.
Are you sure that I said that? That the Earth is flat?
Verbatim.
Oh. You sure you're not just taking my
No,
how I am with
I'm
Globers and
Let's
just
just
interpreting
get
that
the judge's
as being a flat
commission
earther?
then. Hey, the other thing that you said you didn't say, that judges get commissions.
Yeah, and then
This
you
is
change
a
that
full,
to a
this is a
commission.
full-blown cancel culture party, right?
No, it's that you're a full blown fucking liar. You've
Yeah,
just
sorry,
lied twice
Ooh,
now.
I'm a
Yeah,
liar
paid hell
now.
of a fight.
I'm a liar now because I said I don't know that the.
Yeah, you know,
Is it possible that I say I don't know because maybe I thought the Earth was something and there's enough
Yeah, but
information out
you
there
told
to be
me
able to
after
say,
you
damn,
said
I don't
you
know
don't
now.
know that
that
you have
possible?
facts and research that it is.
Is it possible that I used to think the Earth was a giant sphere floating through space somehow?
we didn't ask
No,
you if it
it's
was
not.
possible.
Because
Well,
you're a disingenuous bastard right
so
now.
you guys
Okay,
want
what
to
I said
reduce
to
things
you.
to black
Listen,
and white.
Matrix,
You
listen.
guys don't want to accept
This
the
is what I
gray.
said to you. I asked you, is the Earth flat? You said, I don't know. You then turned around and said, I have facts and research. And I said, how can you have that if you don't know the shape?
So you interpret what I say, what I
That
said.
was the entire conversation.
Wow,
There's nothing to
dude,
interpret.
you cannot even face your own words head on. That's how intellectually
as soon as
dishonest
you
you
guys
are.
let me
You
speak,
turn your
I'll go
head
ahead,
away
right?
as soon as your own words are thrown right back at you.
This is a beautiful tactic, by the way.
Yeah, it is
It's a new one. It's a new one. It's a new one. I'm taking notes, okay?
Oh,
Alright,
do
I'll ask
take
you
notes.
again. Is the Earth flat?
I don't know.
Right then, shut up about the flat Earth.
Fuck you. I won't shut up.
Yeah, you don't even know, so how do you profess to know?
Don't know, but you still go around saying that it's flat.
Now, can I question what is it that you know?
Matrix
No,
made
more
you
new.
NASA stills. They're trying to break you down psychologically. They're
listen,
not.
No,
I got it, Lemon Bird. I got it, but I'm
anymore.
I got it, Lemon Bird. I got it. I got it.
Mode, and they are there to break you down psychologically.
Yeah.
That's
and
what they do. That's what they do.
back onto the sphere belief.
Lemon, shut up.
These are
Lemon.
fake actors.
That's
These
the
are
best
NASA shells.
part.
Probably half
Lemon.
of them are
Shut
NASA
up,
employees.
Listen, you know what's the sad part, Lemon Bird? They're not even
Jesus.
NASA shields. These
No.
people are genuine
Hey,
losers.
Matrix.
No,
Matrix,
Lemon Bird is
did I
just jumping in
declare-
to throw static in. He's
Yeah,
just
did I
throwing static in
declare a
for
shape?
you to defend you.
Did I declare the shape when I started my line of questioning with you of whether it was flat or not? No, I did not. I asked you a straightforward question. You said, I don't know. Then you proceeded to say that you do know.
I never
You're
said
dead to
that.
rights. You're caught dead to rights.
I never said that. The problem is I never
Said you had facts and knowledge. That's
No,
saying you know what
that's
the
not,
shape of
that's
the Earth
not what
is.
I said. That's
That's
not what I
exactly what you said.
said. No, that's what you interpret.
Exactly what you said, dude. There's like I don't know how many people are in here listening to you. You said
They're not listening
anyone
to
else?
me. They're listening to you, what you're interpreting. You haven't
Matrix.
even let me speak and said what I have to say.
Matrix,
You keep
There's
on saying that I'm
50
saying it.
people.
At this
Did you
point, it
not
doesn't
just
even
say
matter
it to me?
because you have repeated so much that you've already put it in their mind because that's
Matrix-
how the tactic works.
Matrix,
Repetition.
Matrix, can you shut up and accept a part of the conversation and talk about this, okay?
I want to
Did
accept
you
something
not?
that I
Did
didn't
you not?
say that
Shush.
they're interpreting. I want to
Shut
accept
up. Shut up for a second, okay? Let me talk. If you're talking, you're not listening. Now, did you not just say to me, to my face, in front of everyone who was listening here, that you had the research to know the shape of the Earth? But you, when I asked you for that research, you chickened out. You could not provide
What I
anything.
actually said was that I found
But
out
you
what
actually
you know,
said.
not to know or to at least know enough to say that I don't know because there is enough information to confuse the shit out of anyone.
All right,
Right.
let me ask you a
But you
simple
cut
question.
me off. You cut me off trying to make me look bad. And when
No,
you
we're
cut
not
me
trying to
off,
make you look bad.
no.
We're not trying to make you look bad.
I'm explaining
Look
what
bad in front of
happened.
who?
The first time you cut me off, I was explaining to you what happened, and you cut me off. And when you cut me off, the last thing I said was what you heard, and you interpret that as if I'm trying to be dodgy. And what that wasn't the case. You didn't let me speak then, and you misinterpret this
It's
entire
not
thing.
Stop being a Karen. Stop being a Karen. Make your point, and then I will make my counterpoint after you.
Ask me the first question again.
Hello? I like to report people not living in fear over the COVID hoax. Hello? Can you please come over here? Thank you.
Shut up, Lemon Bird.
Okay, ask and answer. You asked me, do I know the shape
that
of
was
the Earth?
beautiful, Lemon.
And I said, no, I don't know. Ask and
Thank you,
answer.
good
That's
Right.
the sealed right there. Now, do you know the shape of the Earth?
No, it doesn't go that way. You need to
Oh,
admit
it
the
doesn't
fact
go that
you
way.
don't. No.
But I
Get back to
did.
the
It's
point.
ask and answered. I
Yeah,
answered it from the
you
very
don't know.
beginning.
You
From the
don't
very beginning, the
know.
question was answered. You guys didn't want to move on and wanted to do the whole.
No.
let's get up on
It's
him
what
thing.
you said after that.
It doesn't
what
matter
you
what I
said
said. It
after
was
that,
asked and
mate.
answered. Ask.
Yeah, but
and
you don't know how
answered.
to shut the fuck up and listen. It's what
Oh.
you said after you said, I don't know. But I have facts and research. Okay? I don't
That
know the
wasn't
shape,
what
but I
I
have
said.
facts and
I
research.
just
If you
went
don't know
on a
what
rant
shape it is,
explaining
how
what
do
I
you know
said.
you've got the right facts and the right research?
What is the right fact?
Dumbass.
The right research. What does that look like?
Well, if you don't know, why do I have to do your homework?
What are the good facts? What are the right facts? What are the true
No,
facts?
why do I have to do your homework? If
Oh,
you're
you
a
claim
truth
to know
seeker,
this, right?
go and fucking find them yourself,
claim
you
to know
lazy
this. You
butt.
claim to be
The
intellectual.
scientism authority determines the facts in the technocracy of atheism, materialism, and scientism that we have today. Commoners like yourself are not allowed to question the paradigm. They're just not. Not unless you're initiated into the system. And even then, you're kicked out immediately if you don't toe the line.
Lemon Bird, you're initiated into your flat Earth system, and that's all you do is run your mouth to try to stand up for other flat Earthers instead of actually having an intelligent conversation about it.
Yeah, you ran away when I presented evidence before about the sun rising from the completely wrong spot here in Australia. So, yeah.
I countered by
Yeah,
talking about
it
perspective,
does
which
make
you don't
living
know how to
cute,
apply
though.
over a flat
Ran
plane.
away as
So you need to learn about
ran away
perspective.
before I could present the evidence that I had. You took off.
You don't know how to apply
Before I could
perspective,
even-
so you don't have a basis to stand on.
Whatever. You're a
Lemon
coward.
Bird, every time you tried to debate me on anything, you've lost. Okay, so why don't you just
You go
shut the
on
hell up?
factual. You
Why
bring
don't
up
you
a whole
just
bunch
shut
of
the
drama and
hell
go on
up?
factual. There's no point in debating you. Unless you can keep
Why
it
don't you
dialectical
have-
and information centered, there's no point in debating you.
Why don't you have the manly enough maturity, if you will? Okay, why don't you act like a grown up for a second and actually let someone more intelligent, such as some of the rest of us who are talking here. I mean, Matrix is far more intelligent than you.
Listen,
I don't know why he's backing you up.
Thank you for the
just
compliment, but don't be that guy.
Matrix,
right? You
Matrix.
can't know nobody's intelligence.
Not your turn, Matrix. Okay, I'm talking to Lemon Bird. Lemon Bird, Matrix is smarter than you, and he's just agreeing with you, but you're just throwing in a whole bunch of static into the conversation with your pre-scripted allocations of quote-unquote logic, just to blur the lines instead of actually having a discussion.
You're just waiting for your scientists and priests to tell you what to think.
I definitely think that was projection. Definitely some projection.
Scientism, really? You're calling science a religion?
Yeah. The opinions of an atheistic, materialistic scientism elite
Who said I was
telling you what is true and false without you
said I
using
was
critical thinking or real search for the truth, apart from the power of elite
said I
and
was
consensus
elite?
of the scientific community.
Who said I was atheist, materialistic, or an elite?
I don't hear a declaration or any information, so this is why it's
Well, I
not
want a
worth it.
citation on your claim. You made a claim.
Not
You
giving
made a
any
claim there, Lemon Bird, so I want some
and
citation.
you're not offering information, so you're just going to bog down the discussion and waste time. Therefore, it is not worth it to debate you.
Yeah,
That's
projection,
exactly what
Lemon
you're doing,
Bird,
Lemon. That's
projection.
exactly what you're doing. And do everything.
Projection.
You got nothing, Lemon.
Projection. You just put flat earthers on trial and offered nothing. Nothing.
Again, more projection. You have zero proof. You're trying to contradict.
You have laser tests, long distance infrared, long distance infrared imaging that show flat level land and no 8 inches per mile
You're not
squared.
listening, Lemon Bird. This shows you're not listening. You have to jump in and talk over people because you decided not to listen.
This is why nobody will debate you. It's too much drama. It's not worth it.
Really?
And no information is being exchanged.
This is why you won't debate anybody, because people present facts and you don't.
You ran away before when I presented facts.
Hey,
I countered with perspective, and you didn't show a handle on perspective by trying to see how perspective would handle the sun over the flat plane.
No, I showed you a picture of the sun from where it was on the east coast of Australia, and then I showed you the picture that pointed out that, yeah, it does rise from that direction on the flat Earth map. So why doesn't it appear where it should on the flat Earth from here? You
Yet
can see
again,
the shadows
perspective.
cast by the signs and the cars and the people.
I countered with perspective. So now it's your turn to talk about how perspective would or would not handle the object.
Why is the sun off the
You
east
have to
coast
talk
of
about
Australia
how
every single
perspective
morning?
would or would not handle
Every
the
single
object.
morning,
Therefore, you have not handled the concern and the counter. So at that point, the debate is over until you handle perspective and how it would appear over the flat plane.
Why does the sun rise?
Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm not a mod or anything, but like the chat's getting kind of heated. I'm just trying to listen to debate, but it's kind of toxic. Me and my friend were doing some research. Do you mind?
No, go ahead and talk. Go on.
Take the floor.
Yeah, hi. So basically, with the aid of the complicated Weisberg theorem, I managed to determine the approximate triangulation between my cock and balls.
Actually would have been great. You just managed to do exactly what Globers do to get their distances. Congratulations.
Oh my God.
So basically,
Yeah, over 24/7, we just ban trolls like this.
Yeah,
We
no,
successfully
totally.
calculated the approximate triangulation to be about 4.3 centimeters squared, give or take.
I gotta say, that's quite gargantuan. The pure triangulation between the balls and the cock, it's absurd. So, good work.
Oh, and by the way, Matrix, you said that's how Globers determine the
Cheers to
size
that,
of
Marcus.
Can I lick your balls? I'll suck your cock.
it requires
It's
that
such a
much
quarter of an
math
inch.
to actually figure it out.
If only we
The question is, did he take into account the rigidity of the gooch?
Only.
Well, see, if you're a chode, you've got a problem, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
The real question is do you stick your finger in your ass when you measure it?
4.3
Only if you're BB.
Like, it might not sound like a lot.
I mean, for accuracy, probably that's the case, right?
Well, it depends.
Matrix
if you're getting
media
an accurate
today.
prostate measurement, yeah, you would.
Prostate measurement, but you do need to go from the base from the root of the penis, which is going to be just shy of the prostate.
Yeah, but if you got a chode, you've still got a problem.
Yeah, but that's just getting women entirely. That's not about the measurement.
Well,
yeah, I know, but it's the thing. You've got to understand that the size of your cocksock's what matters.
Speaking of giant spherical objects like my balls, the sun and the Earth distance can easily be triangulated, as we were talking about.
Yeah, you're just obfuscating from the point that
Based
people
off
with
of
a penis that's the
assumptions.
same length as their testicles just have a problem.
Based off of assumptions, as I told you before, optical geometry and tactical physical actual geometry are two different things, because in optical geometry, due to perspective, parallel lines will appear to converge, whereas in actual tactical physical geometry, the only time the lines should appear to converge and come together is when they're actually moving together, not appearing to move together due to perspective. That's the problem with tactical versus optical geometry.
That was not word salad. That all made sense.
It actually didn't make any sense because he's trying to discern that there's a difference between between optical geometry and geometry on table, which there's really not. Now there are a number of factors that will alter the path of which light in optics will take, but that doesn't change the geometry.
Yeah, but you still have to deal with the fact that lines appear to come together due to perspective in optical geometry, whereas in tactical physical geometry, they should only come together when they're actually moving closer together.
There is no optical and tactical geometry
the lines that are the same distance apart are appearing to come together in optical geometry, whereas the lines the same distance apart and parallel do not come together in physical regular geometry.
Period. There is no optical
So
or
until you
tactical
can deal with
geometry.
that problem, tactical versus optical geometry is going to have some serious issues.
And again, you're just going off with your work.
Where the sun rises here in my location. Big issue.
Geometry is geometry. It is not optical or tactical. Geometry is geometry because geometry is a function of math.
That's a brute fact that doesn't reflect perspective. How do you deal with lines that are parallel and not supposed to come together in optical geometry that appear to come together due to perspective? How do you deal with that?
Oh man, sorry. That's not you. Perspective does not mean what you think it means. You should.
And
you
this
should
is how you debate obfuscators. You just let it be known how the other side has or has not dealt with the issue and just leave it at that and just move on. Your side cannot deal with the fact that optical geometry has parallel lines that should never meet that appear to come together.
No, that's because if you don't give them the assumption, they can have anything.
I shouldn't be able to see the sun from where I live at all, but it rises off the beach here every single morning.
And Lemonberg, I'm sorry to cut you off.
It will appear to open up like a perspective. The converged visual angles will open up due to perspective. That is all.
No, it's not perspective. It's the fucking sun rising up over the horizon.
Lemonberg, you're just throwing bullshit and static into the conversation. You're not contributing
You're just
anything.
waiting for your scientists and priests to teach you what to think.
Yeah, I keep trolling Lemonberg, but you know what? It's a pretty sick and sad life that you live, where all you do is troll about flat Earth, and that's
you
all
can't deal with
do.
parallel lines that should never meet appear to converge due to perspective. That's a big problem for geometry, tactical geometry anyway, versus optical.
That's why you keep talking over me, is because you're afraid.
Because you're not offering information and you're going ad hom. That's very boring.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Treated to you psychoanalyzing you. That's boring.
You have created a false distinction between optics and geometry, and you're running with it. There's nothing to discuss.
Yep. That's what Lemon does.
So how do you deal with parallel lines in perspective that appear to converge, whereas in tactical regular geometry, those parallel lines should never be meeting? How do you deal with that?
The word salad again, putting words in just to sound like you're smart.
You can gaslight all you want. You can try to muck up the discussion and avoid the issue. Your side can't deal with it.
What you're
and so if
doing
there's
is
no
mucking
one-to-one
up the
marriage,
discussion and adding words.
Sounds like
you're
you
going to
can't
have
deal with the
ambiguity
reality
and
of
error.
the sun rising off the east coast of Australia every morning. It's not a reflection. It's not the perspective warping it from its little trail as it's supposed to go. It's the sun rising off the east coast of Australia, way outside your ice wall if it exists in your firmament. Nothing at all to do with it. It's the physical sun. You can make shadows with the thing. How do you make shadows with a reflection? You can't do it without the actual light source.
It's just appearing to rise up from the converged zone line. That is all. It's just an apparent
you have had long enough to
of
waffle
rising,
on
but
with your
it's not
bullshit
physically
word
raising or
salad.
rolling.
Explain the sun rising to the east of Australia right now, Lemon, that I can go and take a photo
You
of
need
if I
to
really
study
want to,
perspective.
and
The
explain to
answers
me
that you
why
need are in
it's there
perspective. Go
instead
study
of where it should
perspective.
be on your mind.
Go study perspective.
Lemon Bird, all you do is you come onto these channels and you sit here and
Who
evangelize.
cares? This is boring.
You evangelize your
Provide
flat
some
earth
evidence,
cult
Lemon,
belief,
or get the
your
fuck out.
religion. You evangelize your religion just to muck up any factual debate. We were talking about facts and science, and then you come in and throw in your televangelism just to try to claim the earth is flat without actually providing any substance or fact to the conversation, just a bunch of word salad. So if you will please shut the fuck up and let other people talk. For fuck's sake, Lemon Bird. God damn it. Can't you get a goddamn fucking job? I'm sick and tired of hearing your bullshit. God damn it. Do you only have one life, Lemon Bird? You're going to waste it on this?
Verbal, what's up?
How dare he?
What's up, Kocho?
You got
Stop
one life.
wasting. Come on.
You're gonna scream at him. You got one life.
I mean, what's up, Jeremy?
Stop wasting
I'm
your life,
fucking
Lemon. Come
retired. I live my life, okay? I did the fucking. Lemon Bird isn't retired. He's just an evangelist for flat earth, trying to get popularity on his YouTube so I can make money without working. That's all he's doing.
You came here to preach the globe.
Dude,
I don't preach the globe.
Yeah, that's why you came.
Nobody preaches the globe.
You came as an anti-evangelist.
There's no
Reactionary.
evangelism in science.
Yeah.
Because science works on fact.
Yeah, there is.
No, there isn't.
Fuck off, Dawn.
It's when
Dawn,
you
you're a fucking moron, and you also do not
when you
add
preach
anything to
Wikipedia.
conversation. Shut your fucking moronic mouth, Dawn.
No, hold
You're
on.
a fucking...
That's when you preach
No,
Wikipedia
fuck
as
off,
fact.
Dawn. Seriously, fuck off.
No,
And when you call someone else an evangelist, you're actually more of an evangelist
What
than
you're doing
them.
is you're giving Ahmad any chance there is to come in and mute you guys for arguing. Calm it down. Talk
No,
about
it's
this
fine, I've
normally.
calmed it
Get
down.
your shit together.
Sorry, Dawn annoys me.
Be logical. No. Actually, that's perfectly right. We need to attack the argument, the ideology, not the people. But unfortunately, when
Dawn
people just come on,
is just akin to sanding under.
well, that's what trolls do. They
doesn't
get
matter
under your
about the
skin.
person that believes in it. It's just their choice. But we should attack the actual religion of heliocentrism in general, where it came from.
There's
what
no
it
There
leads
is no
to,
religion of heliocentrism. I don't
how
go
it
to the
turns you
church
into a
of
sour,
I don't go to
old
the church
atheist,
of
science
Bill Nye
nut.
or Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Fuck off with that.
Talk about how people like Neil deGrasse Tyson preach from the
Want to defend
stage.
flat Earth cultists?
What?
You're a fucking moron.
How they claim that dropping a mic
How?
is good evidence for gravity, even though it's just a
Well,
mic
actually,
dropping.
that's the best evidence is the fact that something accelerated from his hand
Yeah,
to the floor.
the fact that he thinks it's good evidence.
But it
That's
is.
funny.
It's the perfect evidence. That's how you measure gravity, is by the rate at which something falls towards
By
the
dropping
earth.
a mic.
It's a simple measurement.
By
You could do a
dropping it.
microphone, a rock. You could do it with someone's head. That's how you measure gravity.
That was threatening.
I've never seen any of
Drop
you guys
shit.
ever do it.
Oh,
You just
don't
come
be a
preaching
fucking
about it.
victim. Shut up.
Genetic fallacy. Love it.
You just preach that someone else has done it every
Whoever
day.
said that was a fucking dig on violence, you can shut the fuck up, you little fucking
Gang of
pussy.
evangelists on Discord.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you drive a car, Dawn? Or ride a bike?
I don't do either.
Don, ride a bike?
Do you catch the bus? Do you catch the train?
No, I walk. I
Do you
just
put
walk at the
shoes
minute.
on? Do you put clothes on?
Yeah, I do
Did
that.
you make
I do
those
that.
clothes? Did you make those materials?
No,
Shut
Dad.
up.
No, I gotta correct you this time.
I
because
don't believe in my clothes. You know what I mean? I just wear them. I haven't come here to preach about jeans, have I?
Well, that's why they don't let you out of that room. See, Dav, you were
It's all
preaching
cool.
fact.
I like you guys. We're all religious. We've all got our own belief systems. Some might be wacky pseudoscience. Some might be real science.
Science is not a religion or a belief system.
Well, the way
You know
guys
better.
act,
You know better,
about
Dawn.
it,
What the
the
fuck are
way
you
you
doing
guys
with
treat
this
it,
shit?
it is.
You know better. Why
You
are you
turn
doing
it
this,
into
Dawn?
one. You're
You know
responsible
better.
for making me
Why are
think
you
this.
doing?
He's a Poe. He's a Poe. He doesn't believe what he's
It's you
saying.
it's your behaviors that made me think this.
Don, what do you?
He's
Don,
intellectually superior because
Don, are
he
you
thinks he can decode the psychology, which he can't.
No, Jeremy, he's not a flat earther. Don is somebody who is more or less a contrarian.
I don't know. Every day
believe
sounds
in
more and
stuff.
more.
Dawn will disagree with whoever he needs to on the day,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
it depends
That's
on what
the thing.
side he wants
That's
to
why
disagree
Dawn
with.
irritates me so much.
I'm white
Dawn
knighting
is a
lemon.
piece
That's
of
what I'm doing now. I'm just carrying
Yeah.
it on a bit.
Yeah, but then you'll white knight some other piece of shit.
Yeah, well, they're not pieces of shit.
Do you
They're
need
just
some toilet
people with
paper to wipe that
ideas.
shit off your face?
Oh,
Wacky
no.
ideas.
I didn't call Lemon the piece of shit. I said some other piece of shit.
Well,
Yeah, we weren't mentioning Don's name or anything.
No, I called you a piece of shit because you are.
And
Why
you know
are you so
what,
angry with me for?
No, you know what, Don?
Because you're an annoying piece of shit, Dawn, is why.
No, hang on, Don.
Where did I touch you?
Don, if you just come and just be contrarian to everybody else, that shows that you don't actually believe in anything. Therefore, you are not a philosopher.
I'm not being contrarian to everybody else. I'm just telling you that you're
No,
religious
he's a
just to balance
canary.
it out. Because you called
a
Lemon an
canary.
evangelist. So I said you came here
Science
to
is not a
evangelize.
religion.
No,
It
but
is.
he's evangelizing the flat
It is.
Earth. It doesn't mean it's no.
Scientism.
See, that's the thing. But you've put evangelism as being religious. No, to evangelize something means just to preach whatever your belief is. Doesn't mean it's religious.
Well, whatever.
Oh yeah,
No, that's a
whatever.
misunderstanding
Okay,
of English, which is what we've had a problem with all fucking
Well,
morning.
I added the religion bit then. If you didn't mean that when you said evangelize.
Well, don't you know what evangelize means?
Yeah. But I thought you meant
apparently you didn't.
Context. I think you even said religion when you in part of your rant when you were telling Lemon off.
Just because I said that someone is evangelizing a cult religion does not mean that when I said evangelize.
There you go. I'm just saying, so are you, buddy.
No, I'm not evangelizing anything.
you are.
I'm not saying that there's superior powers. I'm saying by the preponderance of the evidence, you're wrong. That's not me evangelizing. That's me saying that I've seen the evidence contrary to
Earlier
what
on,
you say.
you were
Sounds
copy
like a Christian
pasting
to me.
blue marbles into the chat. That's evangelizing. That's
You
like
know
giving
what?
out the
It
leaf.
became pointless as soon
Godly.
as Dawn opened his mouth. It just became pointless. I give up.
You should give up.
Yeah, so should you, Dawn. You should give up being a retard.
Yeah,
Because
maybe
that's what you're
go do
doing
something
right now.
productive. Go do something productive with your life, for fuck's sake. I mean,
Davros, that's his hobby. He can't
Oh.
just give it up.
It's 10 p.m. for me now.
Oh well, then it's way past your bedtime, then, isn't it?
That's
is a
okay.
little
It's
bit,
only
yeah.
20 past 6 in the morning for me. So maybe you should go to bed and let the grown-ups talk.
20 past 6 in the morning. How long have you been there?
Oh, jeez,
You've
how
been there
young
an
was
hour.
that's right. We live on a globe.
You've been up all night, haven't you?
Why does it
Oh,
never change?
God.
Why does anglicized the sun never change?
You
Why does it
silly.
never change? Tell me.
Why does it never change?
That's another red flag of evangelizing when you stay up all night.
Why does the angular size of the sun never
Do you reckon
change
Lemon had a
when
nice
done?
beauty sleep last night? I reckon.
I'm really sorry, guys. I
You
thought
were
the
up all
four
night.
versus new word.
Don,
I
it's
thought the
perfectly
four versus
okay to
new
let this go now. People are trying to move on to something different.
Okay, cool. I'll talk on something different.
So, Mega, what were you saying?
Why does it need to change?
Because
we're
in the
not-
feather model, the sun moves in a circle around the disk,
What flat Earth model?
doesn't it? It gets closer to you during the day.
Guys, just so you know, Matrix doesn't know that the Earth is flat.
Oh, don't start that again. Mega, what are you going through?
Are you implying that you know? Can you please tell me? Because I've asked you a couple of times.
No, because you told me you didn't know the shape of the Earth. So why should I tell you what you don't know?
It's okay for somebody not to know something, but I'm asking you, do you know the shape of
Yeah,
the
but you don't then go and point the facts out of something you don't know. Because then your facts are wrong because you don't know what you're talking about.
Can you please tell me how does one sees not knowing something?
If you don't know your subject, how do you have the facts of the subject if you don't know what that subject is?
How does one go from not knowing to knowing? What is the step?
How do you
you're an idiot.
debug something that you don't know anything about?
Okay,
You
hold on.
don't
Let me
know.
just say something.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You say. Oh, go ahead.
Let me just jump in real quick. The heliocentrists, they got it all sewn up. They don't need to do shit else. We're the flat earthers. We need to make this physical measurement.
Jeremy.
And it will end this.
Now hold on.
Jeremy.
What's up?
Okay. What happened was I asked Matrix, is the Earth flat? He said he didn't know, but he has facts and research.
No,
Of
no, no.
what?
No, Deb,
I know.
You
I know.
asked,
I'm just.
what is the shape of the Earth? I believe, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
I said, is the Earth flat? And he said,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just letting the flat earthers in here know that this will never end until we are the ones
Jeremy,
that are going to need. Hold
he's
on
not
second.
a flat earther because he doesn't know that it's flat.
Then I'm talking to other people. Then that we are the ones that need to do this physical measurement. The heliocentrists aren't going to do anything. They got it all sewn up.
Why? Why do we need to do that?
Then it will end.
Debunking us.
It'll end this whole thing. This isn't going to end with citations.
What are we
definitions.
debunking exactly?
Oh my God!
Seriously, we could take it to the simplest root ever. What is exactly the claim?
Obviously, guys,
your claim. The claim of these people is the Earth is flat. That's the simplest thing. A flat earther's claim is the Earth is flat. Now, prove it or disprove the globe. Do either.
We've gotten into the weeds. We've gotten into
A
the
better
weeds.
job would be to make a model that replaces the globe and explains sunsets, sunrises, where it appears off the east coast of Australia. You need to replace the globe and the physics that go along with it.
No, we just need to make.
Why do we
None
need
of
to do
you.
any of that?
No,
You need a
just need
model
to-
that explains eclipses.
Yeah,
We
That's
just
all you
need to
need.
make a
exactly.
So you just want us to make something convincing enough to get you, right?
You need to replace the globe and the physics that go
You
along
need a better
with
story. You need a better story. A nicer, more, put together story with numbers and figures and fake photos, right?
Matrix.
But you
We
don't
just
have one.
all we need to do is take a physical measurement of the bendy water. That's it.
Jeremy, look at a curve. What's a wave? What's a wave, Jeremy? Why does a wave do what it does?
Wind.
When you piss in the toilet, do Minecraft blocks come out?
Do you not know how waves work?
Wind doesn't make waves. What the fuck?
You going
sure about that?
What makes winds? Go ahead, man.
Okay, on a windless day down at the beach, why do the waves still get to the beach? Windless day, remember, Joe. I'm sure you've seen a windless day, a still day, nice still day, no wind. It happens. I've seen
no
it.
waves
I've been on the
windless day.
and yet the waves still happened on a windless day. Why does a wave
cricket
water curve, Jeremy, when a wave happens?
Hold on, I'm about to post something for you in debate chat box about how waves work, so you can just check that out.
Well, yeah, because it's not one of your strengths.
Well, if it isn't from an accredited
There you go.
PhD scientist, they won't accept it.
Hey, Matrix, I got a question for you.
Nah, there you go.
Matrix.
Go ahead, bro. You sound
Hey,
familiar.
You got a square piece of bread, right? Yeah? Yeah?
Sure, man.
You got a square piece of bread. I need you to cut it in 2 exact triangles. How do you do it?
A square piece of bread and 2 exact triangles?
Yeah, how do you do it?
Jeremy, in that source you've posted, did you read
through the 45-degree angle?
Jeremy, did you read through that thing you posted up? I've read through it.
He only reads titles.
Wind-driven waves or surface waves are created by the friction between the wind and surface water. As the wind blows across the surface, the ocean of a lake, the continual disturbance creates a wave crest. The gravitational pull of the sun and moon on the earth also causes waves.
The imaginary
That's a-
thing that nobody
that's a-
can prove also causes the thing that nobody knows what it is?
That's a fairy tale, but
Imagine
That's the thing
thing
you
that
posted up, Jeremy. Did you read it or not? That's the thing you've just posted up as evidence of wind being the only force needed to create waves. Did you read the gravitation?
First of all,
So when we put you read a citation from
He did it. He did it. He did read it. He
why
didn't
are you
read it.
yelling? First of
He
all,
never
Second
reads.
of all,
Come on.
He
Second of
didn't
all,
read it.
new.
We know that. We know he
This isn't
didn't
new
read
information.
You posted it,
Hey,
Jeremy.
did you hear-
That's
why are you,
fairy
dude? You're,
tale.
I got to turn you down. Why are you screaming, bro? I
You
got earbuds
posted
in.
it.
Relax, dude. I got earbuds in. You're killing me. Holy
Quit
shit!
triggering him, Jeremy. Come on,
It
that's
said,
not nice.
it said, I know, right?
Fucking man.
All right.
Well, don't you think he has a right to be a little pissed off when you're talking about shit that you claim to know and you don't know anything about? When he's
Wind-
actually studied the damn shit, he's seen it with his own eyes.
You would have seen the
causes the
gravity
wave.
angry,
the sun
of
and the moon
course.
on the earth also causes waves.
But
Wind,
it's,
wind
But it
causes.
says
you show
it's an
yourself what
additional
you can't
factor. It
control.
doesn't say it's
basically.
it's the main contributing factor. Why you guys are taking this that it mentions gravity like
Jeremy
it's like
claimed that gravity has no cause on waves.
it almost seems like they put it in there just to put gravity in there somehow.
They did.
Piss off, Matrix.
This is Jeremy's evidence. So Jeremy himself has debunked the flat earth with fucking
Wind-
gravity in his fucking example. Thank you.
Wind-
Wow. The paragraph mentions
I
gravity
can't
one
get it.
time and that's it. That gravity does it. When they
My
mention it
fucking
like a side effect,
gravity, bitch.
it could have easily been explained without the gravity addition. It could have easily made perfect sense.
Matrix,
That was
just
the
a
thing
quick thing.
Jeremy posted.
Cypher,
That's
just
his
wait.
evidence.
Just wait. I'm going to bust Matrix right now. Okay, you want us to show you gravity? Show me how wind is made.
You want me
You
to?
rub 2 sticks
That makes no
together.
sense, man.
We know
Go on,
wind is a real.
show me wind. Show me what.
Why?
Get me a cup
Not
of
a
wind.
problem.
This
Come
is
on.
fucking-
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Why do you want to know?
Hold on. I'm gonna
about
show him
wind?
when. Hold on.
Yeah, give me a cup of wind. I want you to put it in a cup and give me some wind.
I just
You're
produced.
a weirdo.
Blowing,
He's
not
hitting on
blowing
you.
over a
I
microphone.
just produced wind.
No,
Yeah,
no,
put the cup against the wind.
no. I want you to give me a cup of wind like I could give you a cup of gravity. Go
I
on.
can't give you
Go
a cup.
and make
I
some
can't give you a
wind.
cup of wind because I didn't say
Okay,
that. I can
go
produce
and
it.
show me how wind is
can
made
do it
in the
again.
atmosphere. Come on.
Just produce
Yeah,
my
put
wind.
the cup against the wind, then bottle it.
Wind is
There's your cup of
produced
wind.
when
Easy.
media blows hot air. You have your
Put the
answer.
cup against the wind. There you go. Easy.
Oh my
Can't do that
God.
against gravity though. So
Did anybody
Yeah.
ask
Put a
for
cup
cup
against
of
gravity.
It
Is that-
took,
did anyone even
took
say
a
that?
glober to tell you how wind is made. You think blowing on a microphone is making wind? I want to see
tell
you
you how
blow a
it's made.
sailboat across
Please
the water
explain
with
to
your
me how
breath.
wind is made, please.
you're doing a shift. You're shifting from the wind itself to how it's made.
No, it's cool.
Very
It's cool. It's
sneaky.
all good, Lemon Bird. Please just explain it to me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a simple
No,
guy.
no,
Just explain
Matrix,
to me how
look,
it's done.
I'm not going to do your homework for you, you Jesus. You keep
This dude
doing this.
already
Show
showed
me how
he's-
it's made. Show me how it's
I
done.
switching
So
from
you
the
can't
wind
do it.
itself
What
to
you're
how
saying.
it's
Just say
made.
you don't
While we're
know.
still having this conversation, he's already shown he's sneaky from sneaking to the wind, switching
Lemon
from the
Bird.
wind itself to how it's made. Those are two different questions.
Lemon Bird, you have no knowledge or expertise on this issue. You really shouldn't be saying anything.
Knowledge or expertise. Wow. That sounds important. Expertise. Are you an expert?
Scientism elitist. He's given up his common sense to the scientific elite. Sad.
How
If
many
you
how
were
many
an
experts
elitist,
on this
there's
panel
no
right
reason
now?
to laugh. Imagine that.
We
Women are as
have a few experts in a few different things. What expertise are you looking for?
Yeah,
Some of
what
us have different strengths in
expertise?
different areas. What do you? Yeah, exactly.
When you have to answer a question with a question.
Don, shut up. It was a legitimate
Yeah, but
question.
tell me about your phenomenon.
Don, shut up. Seriously.
No, he literally
add something of value.
The
He asked a
question
question
is,
about what expert.
can you make some bullshit up to contradict my made up bullshit? That's pretty
Matrix.
much
Do you
what
want
he's asking.
engineering? Do you
I'm
want
on your
medical?
side,
What do you
dude.
want here?
Shush.
No,
What's
Matrix
are you looking for?
admitted that it's made up bullshit. He says, "Can you make up bullshit better than my bullshit?" So he admits that what he's saying is bullshit.
Let him answer the question. Which sort of expertise is he looking for currently?
If you're asking me, I'm not looking for expertise.
You just said who has the expertise.
You're the only one.
I'm just asking which one of you are the experts here.
What sort of expertise are you?
What?
If you say piano music, I'm out. I'll be honest, okay? So you have to quantify.
Yeah, what expertise are you looking for?
Any kind. I'm not looking for something specific. Somebody mentioned something about
I've got
expert,
expertise in masturbation. Will that help the argument?
That's cool. Can you show me?
I can
Can you show me a
contribute there.
diploma from an accredited jerking off university?
At the end of the day, they're not experts either, the same as Lemon.
Nobody's an expert in
Not even
flat
fucking
earth
close,
because
That's
it's
what
not
they don't want to
subject.
You're
accept.
gonna
They don't want to
say
accept
you're gonna
because
you're
in
gonna
their
put me on
head
the same
they
playing
think
field
they're
as some of
experts.
us.
Yeah, I know. They're
In
not.
their heads, they
Nobody is
stop
an
thinking that they're
expert.
regular
They're
people.
Discord trolls. That's what they are.
Nobody is an
Coming
expert.
from
Says
Don, that's
Dawn
an
the
amazing
Discord
statement.
troll.
Let me answer Matrix's question. You want expertise? Okay, I was a licensed pilot. How about that?
Does that make you an expert? I'm a licensed driver.
Normally,
Does that
when you
make me
get
an
a
expert?
license, it means you're an expert at something.
It means somebody found you competent enough. You can't. Can somebody try playing without a license?
Competency means expertise.
That's what I'm asking.
To be a licensed pilot is very different than to be a licensed driver.
Yeah,
Not a
driving
problem.
a car
Not a
is
problem.
child play compared to.
Do you
being
need
a
the license? Do you need the license to show that you're competent? Can you be competent without the license?
Yes,
Oh
you get the
my
license
God.
to show that you're competent. Do you know how licenses work?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it possible to be competent without it?
Not really, because generally you need the training.
So somebody has to say you are an expert here in order for you to believe that you are an expert in this, right?
No.
Yeah, I kind of want my open heart surgeon to be licensed. So, call me stupid, but yeah, I do want.
I mean, it does soothe the mind and reassure you, but if he gets the trick done, does it matter if he has a license at the end of the day?
Have you flown commercial before in your life, Matrix? Have you ever taken a commercial flight?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Just answer the question, yes or no. Have you ever taken a commercial flight?
Have I ever flown somewhere?
Have
I'd
you
rather fly in a
ever
plane.
taken a commercial flight?
Seriously, bro?
I'll
Have
just say
you
yes to
taken a
along this
commercial flight?
conversation.
Yes or
Yes,
no?
yes,
Shut
yes.
up, Lemonberg.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you want that pilot to be an expert or at least very good in their field?
Sure, I hope so.
Okay. So if you want them to be competent in their field and you trust them to be competent in their field, why don't you trust them when it comes to the shape of the earth, which is something that they have to know?
Why do I have to assume because they're super competent at one thing, they have like some sort of know or knowledge that they can explain the nature of
The shape
reality?
of the earth is a requirement of having a pilot's license.
Is that
You
so?
have to know how to navigate on a spherical earth.
Do
have
they,
to
One's not related to the
do they
other.
make, do they make calculations on a globe or do they assume it's flat? I'm just asking.
No pilot assumes the earth is flat. If they did, they would never be licensed.
Well, we're not making proper connections here, so let's see how reality concords with your statement. I don't think reality would concord with your statement because of it being not true. So I would go with pilots probably flying over a flat system and assuming that, for all intents and purposes, it's flat.
Really?
It absolutely
I
concords with-
never assumed it was
It
flat.
has to, because that's the way great circle routes work, and because pilots get from point A to point B, that shows that these routes are functional. These routes would not work on a flat Earth.
It may only show an approximation. A great circle route is based off of the global assumption, but it may be flat. And it may just be used with the Haversine formula to approximate the distances put into computer software based off of those distances and assumptions with a bunch of computer programming as opposed to something that's actually married to reality.
Okay,
to tell you the truth, Lemonbird, I don't even think pilots fly anymore. I think they do the most minimal job ever. I think they're only there because people don't like the idea that AI is flying these fucking planes. I don't even think they really fly these planes like they used to anymore.
Button pushers. They don't fly based off of their know-how and their knowledge. They fly based off of their ability to manipulate machines, which is a distance away from actually flying over the surface.
I don't mean to break up this circle jerk here between the two of you, but neither of you were ever pilots. I was. So why don't you shut the fuck up?
That doesn't mean that your interpretation of reality is accurate or that you're submitting to the truth. You can be a very confident, very professional pilot, but your opinion does not mean crap if it is not married to the truth and married to reality. So your competency becomes a null and void and immaterial unless it is linked closely to logic and the truth.
Word salad. Okay, you don't know a damn thing about aviation, so you don't have a say in it.
Yes, I'm a common sense commoner who can think.
No, you're not at all. No, wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
Strongly disagree.
I'm a common sense commoner with a brain on his head who doesn't see curvature. That's all I need to be an expert in flat earthology.
Lemon, there is zero common sense in the idea that all the distances are wrong, all the speeds are wrong, and all the times are wrong, but somehow they all work in the exact same way that they would on a globe. There's just no
because they figured it out. They figured out the calculations. They've had enough time.
No. Lemonbird said it's just an approximation. Yeah, sure, because they just approximate with how much fuel they have to carry from point A to point B. And they don't measure that out exactly.
They dance all the time. They're probably not even using hardly any jet fuel and still charging the crap out of people because of capitalism. They probably stopped using jet fuel like that years ago.
Hold on. Planes don't run on jet fuel. They run on helium, right? They just put helium in there to float the planes over like blimp.
Lemon has no grip on reality whatsoever. He actually denies reality, and he has admitted as well.
You have used scientism elites and what they say to substitute your common sense, your brain, and reality.
That's sad. Rising off to the east of me right now. I've shown you.
You don't even know how to handle perspective, so you need to go learn perspective first, Jack.
Match reality. You don't like how it doesn't match the reality.
You gotta learn about perspective first, man.
So you run away.
You gotta learn about perspective first, man.
Like you're doing right now.
No, really
You're
quick.
saying the same thing, and you're not dealing with the fact that you don't know perspective. So the conversation's over.
Really quick. You notice how quickly that as soon as I mentioned I'm a licensed pilot, all the flat earthers immediately ran away from anything.
Your statement doesn't relate to anything, therefore it is immaterial. Who cares about your expertise? That doesn't mean that you're dedicated to the truth and that you're thinking logically about the issue at all.
I'm intrigued. What is it that you think that means that you're a licensed pilot? In your mind,
I was a licensed single-engine pilot, and I went through flight school. And in flight school, navigation is one of the most important things because knowing how to fly is barely 10% of aviation.
Yeah.
Just because you can fly, you can drive a car like drive a plane like a car.
You know who else? You know who else could fly?
If you don't know where the hell you're going, that's going to cause you to kill yourself.
You know who else could fly without having to go to flies, birds? You understand what you know?
They don't carry passengers or cargo.
But these creatures, from very little, somehow instinctively, they learn how to fly. They understand 3-dimension time and space and learn how to move.
There you go with another
without having to do any licensing whatsoever.
Wings so fast that they can overcome Earth's gravity with the force of their wings pushing the air down.
Yeah, and you go inserting that gravity there.
Don't understand anything, dude.
But how would you program these organisms on anything other than an unmoving, motionless plane? If it is moving through space, how do they know where to aim?
Program them how?
A monarch butterfly, which goes 3 generations to go from Mexico up to the north. Each generation is different than the next, with 3 generations going up there. How do you program that into an organism with anything else other than a flat stationary plane? Unless the location is giving out a beacon that's drawing the organism there. How is that going to happen?
Just ignore him. He's just sitting there word salading. He doesn't know jack shit about shit. He ran away about knowing the shape of the earth as soon as I mentioned that I was a licensed pilot. He ran away from that.
You understand 3-dimensional time and space. Oh, that's awesome. Plus, you can hit switches. Awesome, bro. Flies understand 3-dimensional time and space. Birds do. Parrots do, bro. Come on, bro. What is it that you're saying?
Yeah, fly a plane?
If I knew the buttons, which one goes up, I guarantee you will be able to fly a plane.
No, you can't fly a plane.
I will bet. I will bet.
You are so retarded.
$100,000.
Okay.
$100,000. I will fly. I will have Matrix in me with the plane as the co-pilot. I will do the takeoff.
I'll take that. I'll take that bet. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Doesn't matter the conditions. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
No.
Come on, let's do it. Let's get it.
I will take off.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on, come get me. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Shut up.
Fuck it. I'm saying let's get it. Let's do it. I'm on your side. Let's get it. Come on. Come get me.
I will take you to altitude, and I will just let go of the controls and just go.
All you have to do is tell me. All you have to do is tell me.
I want you.
The buttons that maneuver the thing. That's all you have to tell me. That's it.
I want you to land the plane.
I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that bet. I'll take it. I'll take that bet. Come get me.
Well, I'm not going to take you on that bet because you'll kill
up?
it. You dumbass.
Oh, you just talking trash? So what's up?
Oh, please don't.
So what's up? Come get me. I'm here. I'll take that bet. Come on.
Don't buck up on me, little boy. Okay.
No. Listen to me. I know a thing or two about aviation, okay? And I have uncovered a new breakthrough regarding the triangulation between my cock and balls. We thought it was...
Did you calculate the distance to the gooch?
That was less than mature, but even more funny the first time.
No, but I'm saying,
What's in your gaster? Once you triangulated the measurements, they aren't feasible when they're applied to the curvature.
Did you account for the gooch? Yes or no?
Have you even considered the exponential growth of microbes on?
If a mod could please mute these two morons, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
you would never prove a
conversation would go a lot further without the Karens in the chat.
The horizon is flat and level and rises up towards your eye level. Globe debunked.
No, it does not. It does not.
Now, Lemon, explain to me why the sun's rising right now off to the east coast of Australia instead of being way up past the tip of the Northern Territory. Why can I see the sun?
Because of perspective.
No, try again. If you've gone through that, that's not how it works. This is it's the sun. It is the physical sun. It's casting light from the source of the sun. How does perspective move it from over 2,500 kilometers north to where I am?
He's just saying perspective because it doesn't know what it means.
No, Lemon
because the sun's circling overhead, and due to your local perspective, you're perceiving it as being northeast versus southwest.
As I speak, I can go and look at the sun. I shouldn't look at the sun because it'll burn my eyeballs out. But I can go and look at the sun off the beach right now, 3 minutes from where I'm sitting, and it's rising off to the east coast of Australia, which is not at all where it should on your model, if you even claim one of the models that are out there. Go ahead and not claim any of them.
Flat, North Pole in the center, surrounded by an Antarctic ice wall, continents radiating out from the
Sun
center.
rising off to the east coast of Australia right now, Lemon.
No, hold on.
East coast of Australia. Need to see where the sun's circling overhead over the flat plane.
His response to what you said was to just spout off just rhetoric that about the AE map. That's all he did was spout off rhetoric about the AE map. He didn't say anything. He didn't even address what you said. He's not listening.
Lemon, explain the picture in the debate chat right now. That's in the debate chat. The perspective with the red liquid and the vibes.
You have a shadow that's expanding from the mountain.
The GIF above that.
Is that your explanation?
Yeah. Let's see what else. I drew a picture about this over. Well, this one's okay.
Are we looking at the same?
They have that happening on the upper cloud layer.
He's looking at the Mount Rainier photo when it should be up there. You're looking at the wrong thing. Go back up and look at the GIF.
Look at this GIF. I'll it's from Phil.
Basically, sun overhead on a flat plane.
Dude, we're not talking about that one. Look at Phil Keo's message. He sent the GIF at and explain how that works on a flat Earth.
The one by Phil Keo?
Yep.
Yeah, you'd have a shadow coming down on the top part of the clouds, and you're underneath the clouds and interpret it as a shadow.
Not the mountain, the GIF of the tube of red liquid. Jesus Christ! Do your own research.
You're
You can't even
such an utter moron.
Give a timestamp because there's a lot of stuff put in this chat. So if you can't put a timestamp, then
yeah, there it is.
He can't even find the
the one by Spooked at 519.
It's like 10 messages up.
Talk about the water lining up to the horizon.
Yes, that's what we've been talking about the whole time.
Horizons are viewer specific. You have to ensure that those water levels.
But you
are
just said
lined
horizon rises to eye level. That's what you just said. You said it like 3 minutes ago.
Which means that as you get up higher in elevation, there appears to be more flat land ramping up to eye level past the horizon that you had at lower elevation.
Do you see any land or water in the eye level?
You can't tell if
Isn't
that's
it
at eye
suspicious
level or
how
if it's
the
off.
higher you go, the less horizon there seems to be? Isn't that a little suspicious?
No,
No, it depends on how much it's lined up to eye level. It's still ramping up toward eye level past the old boundary. If you are on a globe with a boundary condition at sea level, it shouldn't rise at all past that point, assuming that that's the boundary condition of a sphere in any way, shape, or form.
But it doesn't rise. It doesn't rise. It just doesn't fall very fast. That's not that it rises. It's just that
It rises up past the old point.
It's not rising up though, Lemon. That's
You
the
can
point that
tell
you're
it's rising.
You can't tell that it's rising at all. It only appears to fall away.
You can tell it's rising because when you look from your feet toward the horizon, guess what your head does? It rises up. It doesn't stay down, and it doesn't peer, further down in any way, shape, or
Do you
form.
even understand how the level works in this picture?
Wow, Lemon, that is the weakest ass.
So what are you saying then?
Do you even know how this works? How the level works?
I already said my opinion of what happened. What do you think is happening? Show me that you are a big individual whose mind has not been destroyed by way too much slavish independence on scientism and other elites. Show me that you are a thinking person and tell me what you think.
Now he just basically made the claim.
It's sad if you can't even do that yourself without some scientismus telling you what to think.
Lemonberg just basically made the claim that independent thought is somehow wrong.
No. It's not that independent thought is wrong. It's that you must have thoughts that are different from everybody else's, or you cannot be correct.
Yep.
And there's crickets from Lemonbird because he cannot defend his stance.
Help, Lemon. Seriously.
What he's doing right now. What Lemonbird is doing right now is he's turning the page to his next page of his script. That's why
I
we
have
fight right now.
people
Trust
say
this
that Lemon
gift.
Bird has admitted to them that he doesn't like reality, therefore he substitutes it with his own.
Yeah, guys, he left. He left the server.
We can't trust this freaky gif with some
Fuck
globe
off, Dawn.
preacher tilting some red liquid.
No,
Could
it's
be
not tilted.
Ribena. It
It's
could
not
be just.
It's not tilted at all.
Could be just two tubes hanging in front of the camera.
Don, the fact you just said that then says
Stop
you don't
sucking
know
on-
how it works.
Stop sucking on the fucking exhaust pipe, Dawn. Serious.
Let me
How do you
ask you,
think
Don.
Lemon
Let me ask
reacted
no,
to that?
Don.
He
Let me
fucking
ask
left.
you a serious
That
question.
was how good it was.
Let me ask you an honest question. That GIF that shows that the tube with the red liquid, right, against the horizon.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video where that comes from?
Yes.
Really? So what was in that video? What was the starting argument of that video?
Oh, I can't remember the argument.
Yeah, because you didn't see it.
Yeah, of course I
There's
saw
Lemon
it.
again.
I saw it on day one before you.
Yeah, sure you did. Before I did. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm up to date with the flat Earth debate. And
So you know exactly when I saw it.
Going down at 0.
I'm just assuming that I saw it before you.
You're just assuming. See, that's the problem right there. You're just assuming.
It was on day one, it was posted here. That's
You
probably
already
a year or two. Is it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Fuck knows.
You know, this is why we have certain gun law restrictions because people like you would have fired all 6 shots into your foot before you even got it out of the hole.
If you believe
bothers
that that
calling
guy is
anymore because of the
trustworthy
shit
with his red liquid, then it's cool evidence.
don't know why
If you
you're bothering.
don't, then it's not, is it? It's just another silly gif.
See, you just, like I said, you just fired all 6 shots before you managed to get the gun.
You're gonna
out
have
of
to
the
talk us
holster.
through the whole video with your red liquid and your tubes.
Oh, I have to talk you through it. I thought you knew it.
Well, if you want to convince someone, you can't just say, explain this GIF in your dream world.
Well, yeah, maybe if you want to convince someone, maybe you should explain it to me since the burden of proof is on you.
I'm not trying to convince you. You're not for this religion.
What religion?
Well, what you want to call it? Cult
Yeah,
religion.
what religion
You
is it?
called
Tell me.
The cult religion, you called it earlier.
What cult religion?
The
I
flat
want you to
Earth.
specify.
The globe skeptic denier,
Oh,
flat Earth.
Yeah, you're
cult religion.
having a lot of trouble coming up with a name for it. I know you're desperately trying to think up any name that you want, but you cannot name this so-called
What do you
religion
call
that I supposedly subscribe to, since you know so much more about me and the entire world than
The
anybody
red
else.
pill truth of Earth, should we call
The
it?
red pill truth. Do you know what red pill means?
I
Yeah.
was just about to say, has Dawn dropped the red pill shit yet? But there it is.
Yeah, what does red pill mean, Don? What does red pill mean?
Phil, I knew that was
Means
coming.
you're
just from
woken
listening.
up. You're woken up to a hidden truth that you
Are you
didn't know
sure?
before.
And what does the blue pill mean?
It means you had the chance, but you chose to be ignorant and
Wow, you fail so
stay
bad.
in your religion.
It's unbelievable.
Now, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm really based, and I believe in cock and balls, and more specifically, the triangulation between like the two, you know.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
Well, I can just determine the triangle
Seriously,
because I've been red pilled.
No,
Okay,
dude, just
okay, come
shut
on,
up.
yeah.
Dude, I'm based, okay? So I can
You're a
determine
fucking moron.
that the
Why are you being a troll like
triangulation
this?
between
No.
between the cock and balls,
No,
dude.
that's
It's
full
simple,
fucking idiot.
it's simple as that. I've determined the triangulation because I'm based in red pilled. You're not
Just
as red
turn him
pilled.
down. That's about the best
You're
thing
not
you
as
can
red
do.
pilled than me. That is simple as that.
Was
You're not
that
as red
kid
pilled.
dipshit?
That was
Or
funny.
gangster?
That was funny the first
Apologies
couple
if
of
I said the
times.
wrong
Okay,
one.
just let it go.
Nah, it's like, nah, bro. Third time's a charm.
Don't
Listen to me, all right?
Don't beat
I'm
the dead
based.
horse, man.
Based.
That's how you kill
Based.
comedy, man.
Based. That's me.
Your base?
I'm based. Trust me, bro.
Based in what?
Great.
Well, come on, guys. This isn't a competition of being woke. I'm just calling flat Earth a red pill. That was all I was doing.
How is flat Earth a red pill?
Because
Describe that to me.
it shakes your mind and wakes you up if you let it out of the religion of being told a model at school and then accepting it as fact.
All right. Let's get back to the core of the argument here. You claim that it's a religion, right? So if it's a religion, what is the purpose of this religion to hide the shape of the globe or hide the shape of
Okay,
the earth?
I'll tell you if you tell me afterwards what is the purpose of the flat Earth cult religion. What
They're
you
trying to keep us in. That's
you're the
they-
first one to name something a religion.
You just called me religious.
Yeah, but that's because you called Lemon an evangelist for a religious cult.
And as Dab just explained to you,
I'll
evangelism
explain yours
does
if you
not mean
explain.
religion.
Yeah.
Bible.
Are you willing to say what you think his is if I say what yours is?
It was already explained that evangelism does not mean religious.
You said religious cult, evangelism.
Well, I believe that you're definitely in a David Koresh cult, but I want you to explain yourself.
Talking about psyops next
What?
and how the coronavirus is a psyop created in a Chinese lab.
I'm dabbling in a what? What? David Koresh?
Dabbling in a toilet full of shit.
You guys are arguing with Don as though he's a flat earther. He's not a flat earther. He just will
No,
defend
I know,
the.
which makes it even worse.
No, I know. He just running his mouth with bullshit because he's got nothing better to do today, like maybe having a job. But so he's just here to entertain me. I'm just having fun breaking him down with every stupid thing that he says. Oh, is that crickets from you, Don? I accept your surrender.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to each other.
No, you assumed, didn't you?
What did you say again? Sorry.
I said, I'm just enjoying sitting here knocking you down from all the bullshit that you're saying.
Well, what bullshit did I say?
Well, for one thing, that science is a religion.
Yeah. You said flat Earth was a religious cult, so you said it first.
It is.
Explain it, and then I'll explain yours, and then we won't be talking bullshit.
Because a religion is a belief in the absence of fact, whereas science is the belief on the basis of fact.
Okay. Well,
Flat
I need to-
earthers have no fact. They just say, oh, well, I just see it. It looks flat to me, therefore I believe it. And other people say it and they believe it, and those are their pastors.
Well, some of them have measured. Some of them have measured it and think it's a fact that it's flat.
Well, yeah, just because they think, and none of them have measured it.
They have.
Anytime someone takes a measurement and shows that it's not flat, they just deny it.
I think we'd have to go into what fact means as well, because you seem to think all science is a fact. Is that what you're saying?
You know, actually, if you go down this list of occult characteristics as it's typically described, it really looks like flat Earth very much is a cult. It is a group that is led. It's a group that on average. Wait, it is a cult. It is a group that is on average led by a few individuals that are determined, domineering, and charismatic towards arguments and ideals. The leaders are self-appointed and claim to have a special mission in life. That is especially true of Nathan Thompson, QE, and a few others, and a few of the other big leaders.
Yeah.
The group centers its veneration on these leaders and gives them a position that is high, that is very high, and directly relates them to a higher political power, to a god or something of that nature.
Okay, wait.
This is my argument against the globe and against this
Leader,
server
the
of the
charismatic
globe
leader who
as
said
well.
we don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. That leader, is that the one?
Yeah, the one who applied with the IRS to get tax exemption status as a religion.
And then you've got, of course, Bob and Globebusters. They claim to be the leaders of the movement. Mark Sargent claims he's the founder and leader of the movement. You've got QE, who claims to be the leader and dictates what all other flat earthers have to say. You've got leaders in the flat.
Okay, on the topic of a cult,
the structure is typically hierarchical, and it's authoritarian.
Do y'all think that
they tend to be
Amish-
totalitarian? And there's that with them too.
There's no.
They typically have.
There's no authority. What the fuck?
And
No, let him finish. Let him finish.
That was saying that. I didn't even hear it.
About the cult? What is the rest about cult mentality? Just continue on, please.
Yeah,
I want you
there's
to
two or
finish and everybody jump in.
Usually has
applies
two
to
or more
go
sets of
earth
ethics.
and
We're almost finished. There's only a couple more. Usually has two or more sets of ethics, one for the leadership, another for membership, and an entirely different one for outsiders. For anyone looking to become an insider, they're relaxed for a set of recruiting purposes, but they're also set up to be more demanding for committed members. The group usually presents itself as innovative or exclusive. The group has two main purposes, which is to recruit new members and to fundraise. All of these basically fit for flat earthers, or at least the higher people in flat earth.
Are you begging for an iPad?
No, the hell.
I have an
Oh,
iPad. Okay, on the
where
topic
did Matrix go? I wanted to come back and berate him.
cults and cult mentality. Do you guys think that, like, is there ever a consensus that the Amish are a cult, or is
By
that
the way,
just
who was jumping in on me right there? I didn't even get to see who it was.
Sorry, but you'd finished talking.
No. The person who was jumping in to say, "What do you mean we don't have? We have leaders." Who was that? I didn't even hear it. I didn't even see who it was.
Is that Whale?
What leaders?
Well, I guess the guilty party does not want to present themselves, but
but it
that'll
presents
just go on the
itself as
record.
flat.
So go on with what you're going with, I guess, because they are too afraid to show themselves.
Oh no, I'm done. I just wanted to know who it was because I didn't see him.
Well, what's interesting is that there's no doctrine, there's no singular
I'll take
leader.
responsibility.
Well, there's no doctrine, there's no singular leader for science.
Well, there is a doctrine.
Well, I wouldn't call it a doctrine.
It is. It's very simple. We observe the Earth is flat, deny everything.
Oh no, he's talking about for science.
You're satirizing that. Okay, now I was talking. Damn it!
Yeah.
See, I did it again. I was bringing facts. See, I'm guiding here, Captain, to make sure that I don't bring facts to a flat Earth argument.
Yes, I have to
I'm
remind
learning.
you constantly.
I'm
This is the fourth time this morning.
I'm sorry, Deb. Okay, I'm learning. Okay, I'm learning how to deal with stupid. It's not easy, It's a very difficult language to learn.
You have to get the derp dictionary, and all it says in there, it's got one thing, and it says "nuh-uh," which can mean everything.
Now I seriously am thinking about publishing a book, 345 pages, and just the page in the middle says "nuh-uh." And it'll be titled, and I will title it "Proof of the Flat Earth Explained Explicitly." And just the middle page says "nuh-uh."
When you were a pilot, did you ever see the curve?
Yeah, out of the cockpit.
How hard was it easy to see?
Fairly easy to see. I mean,
It'd be about as hard as opening your eyes, I'd imagine.
yeah. Usually, by looking out the window, that's usually the first operation for you to see the curve of the Earth at say 15,000 feet.
I'm not trying to be silly. Was it just like a little curve left to right, and you can just?
You're not trying to be silly. I doubt that.
No, you can see the curve, but the problem is that the Earth is so effing big compared to little old us. But there is a visible size of the curve. You can just see that.
If only you had a photo from those times you were up there seeing the curve.
You mean like all those other photos that people have taken?
If we have theoretical limit of vision, or diffraction limit or whatever, you would kind of see a circle around you, but I'm not here to argue that. I want to ask the guy, whoever was talking about the cult, the points about a cult organization. This is the guy who was talking. I'm in and out, so that's why I didn't respond when I heard you. I'm running around doing stuff. But I think if you did like a Venn diagram of like each point and the percentage of you know, each point to the different aspects of each side of the debate. Like in each side of the debate, you're going to have, you know, people who are just believers of different levels. I think you're going to see similar type of numbers on both sides. This is predominant.
I'm going to step out for a second.
The flat Earth is more cultish because they've got their new, fresh idea that they're trying to blossom.
Not new or fresh at
Flat Earth
all.
is more dogmatic because they're just preaching from
Except the
older
idea
men.
is not new or fresh
Yeah.
or anything new. It was
But
debunked.
Cypher,
The pressed on. I've done it. I've studied them both.
yeah, wait, but Cypher, just a quick thing. So when the Black Swan argument came up, the majority of the crew of flat earthers jumped on it, right? But there were certain ones that said no, 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 no. And then eventually, as the months went on, they all accepted it. That's a cult behavior.
Well, you know, that's weird, man. Like, because again, if you're ranging that side of the debate, you're gonna have 85% of them who are dumb, deaf, and blind and just believe in it. You know what I mean? 10% of them who might not give it, who aren't genuine, and they're just using it for their own greed. And then you got 5% who are the globe skeptics who know that it still needs to be proven. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta just be fair.
Like I said, that became widely accepted. That one thing, you know, that's that one great proof that we've got. That
only thing
occultish behavior is surrounding that one ideal.
Even that one piece of evidence is highly flawed and
Well, I
yeah,
see it
not
applied
presented.
equally on both sides. I'm just telling you. I see every little thing. Like, you could say, hey, we know the Earth is a globe because you can look up in the sky and see other things around. I mean, 85% of people think that's a globe proof.
Well, no, Kaz, hold on. There's a lot of things that were built on religion, and we know that a lot of things in religion aren't true. But that was because of what people perceived, what they thought they were seeing, what they believed. Their belief system led them to believe, to simplify these things because they did not have as much critical thought as we do today. And we also have instruments built on the sciences that we quote unquote believe in that have shown all of our estimations were in fact correct. The thing with flat earthers is that they just arbitrarily say that all of these things are just not true, just to say that they're not true. All they're doing is hand waving. Just like with the Matrix, show him a picture of the flat earth and he will not address the fact that he cannot prove that it is fake. He will say it's fake. He even says he doesn't know that the earth is flat. He said, I don't know.
We don't prove that images are fake, do we? We just say we think that's fake.
Well, yeah, that's all they do is they say we think that's fake.
Some of us could show evidence why we think it's fake, but we don't prove it's fake.
Well, it's very difficult for a lot of them to understand is that science doesn't actually prove anything.
Right.
And they always say, prove this, prove that with science.
What Dawn said, yeah, but philosopher, what Dawn said then was correct. They can't prove that they're fake. They have no.
No,
they
I'm saying
can
we
say
don't.
it's fake all they want.
We're not trying to.
Yeah, but then why say it if you have no
To annoy you.
culpable evidence?
To annoy you and make you realise not everyone believes the dreams you believe in.
Yeah, but if you dismiss evidence, okay, that's blindsiding you, not us.
Yeah, but we've decided to dismiss this specific evidence because
But
we
then
don't
you
trust
present that. Then you present photos as your proof of evidence. So why is it that your photos are okay and ours aren't?
No, Dev. He already said it earlier on. We just do it to annoy you, and then he contradicted himself in his next statement by saying, "Well, we don't believe you." That's what you literally said, word for word.
I didn't contradict myself.
You said we just do it just to annoy you.
Yeah.
And then you said, no, it's because we don't believe in the science.
No, I
That's
said
two
it's to
different
show
worlds.
you that not everyone else believes in your dreams like you do.
Yeah, well, not everybody believes in freaking Santa Claus, okay?
I know.
But that doesn't mean that there aren't people that believe that.
But have you
the
seen a
people who
Santa
believe
Claus server where loads of grown men group together to preach it to the non-believers? No, I haven't.
I've
That would
never
be
been to
absurd,
that.
wouldn't it?
That's where you hang out, isn't it, Dawn?
That would be
no, that's right.
absurd,
You
wouldn't it,
hang
if
out
people
in
did
furry
that?
community.
Yeah, I've never been to the Catholic Church, so I don't know anything about older men trying to preach things to younger boys. I also haven't been to Oakley's house either. But what I can say is, by the preponderance of the evidence, a majority of people, through the preponderance of the evidence, the magnitude, the sheer magnitude of studies and science, all of the world that we believe in and the technology that we believe in relies on the very fact, in one way or another, that we know that the Earth is a globe.
No.
We wouldn't have GPS satellites if we thought the Earth was flat.
You might be able to get Oakley's address if you really want it, Phil.
You haven't looked into any of this.
DM that to me.
Well,
I'm
not-
Dawn, do
find a
you
whole
use
new use for
GPS
toilet
at
paper,
all?
I'll tell you that.
I'm not giving you that. Everything that we use, technology is based on it being a globe in some way or another. No way am I giving you that.
It is because all the stuff and all the technology that has been used to measure the globe and to show evidence of the globe is the stuff that was put into your computers. The
Yeah,
stuff
but
that
so
gives
what?
you
That's,
weather
so what if you use
predictions.
the same stuff? That doesn't mean it makes it right, does it?
Geolocation.
What, because we use the same tools to make a computer, that means the Earth's a globe. Your logic's ridiculous.
No, you don't get the analogy, you dick.
Yeah, it's an
You're a
analogy. It's
complete
not even
dick.
an
It's
analogy.
analogous.
You're trying to make a false comparison to say because science
No, you
works in
don't know what
technology,
analogous
it
means,
relies
do
on
you?
Earth being a globe. It's ridiculous.
No,
This is
no, he doesn't know what analogous means at
Nuba
all.
globe. Newbies.
You're ridiculous. Utterly
Nuba
fucking
globals.
pointless.
The fact that you think that the Earth is flat and that you know more than other people who say it isn't just shows a really pathological sense of narcissism and paranoia.
You came
Because
here
you
to
actually
preach your religion. I'm going to have to remind you
I
again.
don't have a
now.
Not this
religion.
shit
Yes,
again.
you came here to preach the blue marble
Don't-
and your
don't
spinning globe in the dark
try to
void.
put science and religion in the same
You came
box.
here because someone else said that's not a globe. So you decided, oh my god, I'm going to have to make a YouTube channel, make friends, join the community, and shut down that idea.
Have a
Wait a
And
minute.
now you've
hold
come
on,
here
hold
to
on there,
preach
Don.
it.
Hold on there, Don. Don, hold on. Okay. Aren't
You don't get to be
here
the big
just
boy.
say,
You get to
aren't
be
you-
the
you
reactionary
see,
old
you
man.
can't hear it. You can't hear it. You can't shut up. Okay. Aren't you here just to troll about the Earth is flat because you don't agree with 2,600 years of science?
No.
Because of your opinion and your
No.
feelings, and you reject facts
No.
and science
A
put
little
forward
bit.
to you
A
that
little
shows
bit.
you otherwise.
A
You
little bit.
couldn't even
Dawn's
possibly
a wizard.
You couldn't even possibly handle it if someone actually showed you the science. You would
Listen
just
up.
deny it.
Listen up, Globe.
It's in the science.
That's all you would do.
You've been indoctrinated.
Oh, I've
to
been
a
indoctrinated. By
fantasy
who?
religion.
Who indoctrinated me?
Your teachers and your parents.
Who was my teachers and my parents?
No, but
Same
they
shit,
indoctrinated
different.
you
So
into
you
something
don't
they
know.
believed
So you
and they could
don't know
prove.
who did it, and you don't know
Trusted
who they
someone
were.
above them.
And how do
And
you
now
have
here you are
evidence to
preaching
state that they were teaching indoctrination? How do you have evidence of that?
He's been indoctrinated.
Yeah,
How do you have evidence of that?
Continuing to say it isn't going to make it true, even on the 4,557,229 times. Saying it over and over again isn't going to make it.
Hey, did you ever think? Did you ever think, Don? Okay, let me ask you a serious question here, Don. Did you ever believe that the Earth was a sphere, ever in your life?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you believed that at one point. You think that was indoctrination, but you don't think that the flat Earth is indoctrination. Isn't that a little bit of a double standard there?
Everything can be indoctrination. I'm just talking about yours.
Oh, really? So I'm indoctrinated, but you're not.
Well,
How do
I'm
you know
not
that
talking
you're not
about me.
indoctrinated?
I'm just raising the awareness about your indoctrination.
How do you know
you
that
can
you're
say,
not indoctrinated?
you can say no you if you want. That's a good response. I often use it.
See, again, you cannot see a logical person with critical thinking will actually be able
Yeah,
to say, "Am I
I'd
getting
stop
this
now,
wrong?"
Phil.
Yeah,
No,
I was
no,
indoctrinated too. That's how I know.
no. Let me
I
go
know
one.
you are, but what am I?
Ronnie's always making friends.
My parents, my teachers did it to me too, mate. I know
But
all
what did
about it.
they indoctrinate you with? Was it stupidity or was it actual fact?
With authority and science facts.
You have no
I don't know why you seem to think that people who were taught scientific or that teaching in general is indoctrination. It's not like one of the things that's always stressed is to think critically about things, to reach out, make connections, and understand concepts.
No, they don't teach that in school.
Okay, let me ask you
That's
something.
been completely removed from school. Now they just
me ask
tell
you
you
something,
it's a globe.
Don, okay, if I
no.
was indoctrinated, right? I had a pilot's license. I went to flight school. I got my pilot's license. Was I indoctrinated to see what I was seeing that proves the globe Earth?
This is a good question. Don't know. Yeah, I think your indoctrination might have helped you see a curve, but I don't know. You might have actually seen what you thought was a curve.
Well, how is it? How is
See,
it
you just
I'm not
failed-
going to take your memory of
Phil,
your vision away from you.
Phil,
Can
he
I ask
just
the
said
pilot
he
a
didn't
question
know.
to the pilot? To the
and
pilot,
then went
did
to
you
say
think
he
that
knew.
because all the other things were round, that the Earth was round? I mean, would you?
What? How does that work?
When you were indoctrinated, possibly, did you believe in weak globe proof?
What?
Wait, I
That's a
missed that. I
silly
got
question.
weak globe and then you cut off.
Do you believe in the weak globe proofs, i.e., non sequiturs, like all the things in the sky are round, so we must live on a round? Did you?
Who said all
when
the
you were a
things in the
pilot?
sky
Did you
were
believe that?
round? Who said
Well,
that?
if you go to top 10 proofs of the globe, it's like number 3 on Google. I'm just saying, bro. So,
Proofs of the globe? What the fuck? Are you really
yeah,
that thick?
you think I'm kidding? You think I'm
Yeah,
kidding?
I do. Because I think you're a retard right now.
Well, I
Top 10
appreciate that, but
proofs
I'm
of
not
a
kidding,
globe.
dude. This is what I'm saying.
Why do we
dude.
need a top
85%
10?
of people don't
We
have
only
a
need
fucking
one
clue.
proof. We only have
Dude,
one proof,
this is
mate,
proof
and
of
that's
the
it's a globe.
indoctrination, bro. This
No,
is
this
proof
is
of
your
the
stupidity.
indoctrination.
You won't let me say what I'm saying.
Okay, bro.
We only need one
Okay.
thing, and that's a globe. And that's it. We
Yeah,
don't
if you
need
look
10 proofs.
if you want a model of how the globe works, why don't you look below your feet? Because you're standing on it.
If you don't want to pay attention to any of the questions, that's fine. But this man was trying to tell you he was presenting evidence of your indoctrination. You didn't want to pay attention.
He
Now I'm
didn't
telling you the point
provide
again. You don't
any
want to pay
evidence.
No, he
In the
did not
Mongoloid.
provide any evidence.
Don, you're a fucking retard. He provided no evidence for
I
indoctrination.
haven't provided any
He's
yet,
a
Don.
contrarian. He just
just-
says, oh, they
just
may have
telling them.
indoctrinated you, they may not have.
Go to Google and Google top 10 or Google proof Earth is a globe, and you're going to find a list of the top 10 that says all the things like Jupiter and Mars are round, so therefore Earth is round.
That's
That
not
is
all the things in the
indoctrination
sky. Did you just
No.
change your story?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he
I'm
did
clarifying your
change your
communication.
story?
If you want to be retarded, be retarded.
Says the flat earther.
I stood there with
Says
my
the globe
telescope.
skeptic. Again, you can't understand who is who, can you? You don't
I'm
know
a
who your
globe
enemies are.
skeptic. Yeah, you're skeptical about the planet you live on. Yeah, good.
Yeah, why not? Why not? There's people that say they have another story. Why not?
Because
No,
Are
they're
you
wrong.
against science? Are
No,
you
you're-
against science?
You're calling yourself a skeptic, but you're not. You're a denier. A skeptic will say, I'm going to look at the evidence because I'm not sure that the conclusion is correct. A denier says, I've come to my
agree.
conclusion and I'm going to deny any
Yep.
evidence. to the
Some may
contrary.
be deniers. That's not me personally, but some do that. I agree.
Well, what evidence do you have to show that it is not a globe? you must have researched this to come to a conclusion beforehand, because if you were doing anything remotely to be considered scientific, you would do research before you come to a conclusion, as opposed to coming to a conclusion and doing research
Absolutely.
to find things that backs that up. That's
Absolutely.
not
I'm
science.
not at a conclusion. My man, I'm not at a conclusion.
Okay, so what puts you on the fence? What is the thing that makes you unsure?
The lack of abundant footage of
There is no lack of
the,
abundance footage
out
of
of
anything.
No, let him
okay,
finish.
well, if you don't want to hear my answer, I mean, okay,
Go ahead,
cool.
get your answer
but
out.
it's-
Go for it.
No, dude, just talk. Well, I want to hear you out. I want to hear you out. I want to hear what you have to say, because I want to know where you come to this loosely based on the fence conclusion, as you were.
There's people presenting evidence of doubt in our space authority. That's where some
Evidence
the
of doubt
pictures
is
come
not evidence
from.
of
Okay,
doubt.
sure.
It does not qualify. No, that
Okay,
does
it
not
doesn't
qualify.
Okay.
It's
What
positive
what
evidence.
evidence
He's
is there to
he's
prove
asking you for a
otherwise?
positive evidence that is solely indicative of a flat Earth. Do you have?
Or at least, or at the
No.
very least, denies the fact that the Earth is a globe.
Undeniable? No.
No. I'm not asking for proof like black or white. Is it flat or round? I'm saying, show me evidence that shows it is not a sphere. Let's just go that far.
I mean, they have been providing some, rare photos of seeing farther.
Who?
High altitude balloon footage still kind of looks. I just want to see, me personally, I'm going to tell you guys where my gray area lies. I just want to see more continuous footage of rockets, dude, going deeper. That's what I personally
30-minute
want.
one that has the
But if
same
you don't
launch.
listen, if you want to tell me how that's dumb, I mean, I've heard it a million times. But if you
No,
wanted to
no,
just know my answer,
look, mate.
that's what my answer is.
The people who send rockets up don't pander to what you want, mate. It's not about you
Yeah,
and
no
them
shit.
proving
So
shit.
again, thanks for telling me that. I've heard it 1,000 times.
No, but
Again,
that's the question.
I thought
Why do you
somebody
keep
wanted to hear
asking
my
for
answer.
it?
I don't want to hear that bullshit.
It's not for them to give it to you. You need to go and get it
I
yourself.
didn't say it was,
Go on,
bro.
go
I
and
didn't
get
say
it.
it was. So could you please shut the fuck up
Then
and could I have a
go and
conversation with
fucking
the
get it
person that
then.
actually wanted to talk to me, bro?
No. Go
Okay,
and get it.
I'll go on mute.
Go get your information. Go get your uncut footage. Go on. Jesus Christ, you guys are ridiculous. Oh, I want uncut footage
Okay,
of
so
a
there's
launch.
another thing I
Well,
want, and I'm
go
going
and
to be
fucking get it
working on it
yourself.
real
Go build
soon,
your own
and I'll
rocket,
come
mate.
back to you
Go
guys
get your
with
millions of dollars and do
what
it
I find,
yourself.
bro. You sound like a
Shit.
preacher.
No, you sound like a fucking idiot. So fuck off.
Okay, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that.
Are
you
it's funny. You say he sounds like a preacher. I used to be a God botherer, okay? I know what a preacher sounds like. I almost became one. He does not sound like a preacher. He sounds like someone
Okay,
who
you're
is-
right, bro. You're right.
sounds
Is
like
this the
someone who is-
arguing opinion server? Is this where we argue opinions up in here? Is that
Yeah, it's called a debate. You might want to try it.
debate is not opinion, man. Come on, man. So
Debate
anyway,
is a difference of opinion.
so what's up, yo? So what's up? Who was the person that actually wanted to talk? Do you want to talk, or were you the same guy who
Well,
changed your mind and wanted to get?
No, I was asking you, what proof do you have that the Earth is not a sphere?
None.
Case closed.
There's a half hour worth of rocket launch in video format. 5 different cameras on this thing. Have at it.
Yes, there.
Is that your proof of a globe? Is that your proof of a globe?
That's what you wanted, isn't it?
Hold
You
on.
wanted
Is that your proof of? Is that one of your proofs of the globe?
That's what you wanted, isn't it? You
Okay.
wanted uninterrupted footage of a rocket launch going from the
Okay,
surface to space. Yes, there it is. Half an
No.
hour's worth.
No,
5
that's not
different
what I said I
cameras.
wanted. But is that your proof?
5
Is that your proof of the
cameras.
globe?
Oh my
It's
god.
evident.
You just
So that's your
asked
proof of
for
the globe?
unedited footage of a launch.
Fucking typical flat fucking earther.
You lying piece of scum. You just
Angry
said you
people
wanted
aren't really
unedited
angry people
video.
aren't really logical people.
No,
No,
listen, mate. You wanted unedited footage. He's just provided it, and now you hand wave it away. fucking asshole.
I haven't hand waved your footage. You're hand waving my words away. I said the reason I'm on the fence is the lack of more abundant. Okay, I've seen these things that you're showing. I'm talking about deeper stuff, more uncut stuff. If you don't want to listen, then it's going to be hard to communicate with you. So I'll go on mute.
You are just a dick, mate. You're just being a dick. You're just being a dick, mate.
Let me
The
just
amount of rockets.
Let me just clear this up
rockets that
real
have
quick,
gone up.
okay?
For fuck's sake.
You asked specifically for evidence, uninterrupted footage. It was provided to you.
No,
You still-
dumbass, I didn't ask. You asked me, what would I
did
like?
ask. Yeah,
No,
you
I
asked
didn't.
for it.
Rewind the fucking tape, dumbass.
You said, I would like an uninterrupted footage of a rocket launch as proof. And it was given to you.
Dude, you asked me why I'm on the fence, and I said because of the lack of abundant stuff. I never said that to you, bro. Rewind the tape, you fucking dumbass. You're dumb, bro. You're dumb. Rewind it.
Cypher, don't let their trolling get to you, okay?
No,
but just hang on
this
there.
is the thing. This is the third person who can't read fucking English or understand words and how you say stuff, and we take what you mean as what you meant. I mean, Jesus, did a comma go in the wrong spot?
When you proclaim that something is a fact, you need to have evidence to back it up. So far, you have no evidence. But when you ask us for evidence, as if the burden of proof was on us, which it is, we still kindly, out of the kindness of our heart, trying to educate you, trying to maybe get you to see reality and get you
I
out of this
didn't
dangerous-
ask you for nothing. I pointed out the evidence of the indoctrination because if you go to Google and you search proofs of the globe, it will say things in the sky around
No,
all the
no,
other
no.
planets. So yes, and then you wanted to ask me my opinion of why I'm on the fence. So I'm sorry you're mad about it.
No,
okay?
no.
But I love you
You
anyway.
can't just say go to Google. You can't just say go to Google because anybody can put whatever they want.
I went.
Sorry, Cypher. Say again.
Better? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
yeah. You're good now. Say it again.
I went and picked off the top of the pile of the abundance of evidence that you claim doesn't exist. You want to claim that it doesn't exist.
His internet's getting screwy, probably. Cypher?
I don't know what's going on with the keyboard. But
Okay,
there
yeah.
is an abundance, and it is out there. You just need to go and.
Yeah, you need to go and find it. There is an overwhelming abundance of evidence. I mean, it's irrefutable, yet you still refute it. Just hand wave things away. Oh no, that's Photoshop. Oh no, that's CGI. Oh no, that's a NASA conspiracy. Yet you still cannot answer the base question: what is the purpose of hiding the shape of the Earth? Answer me that. Answer anyone that. What is the purpose of hiding the shape of the Earth? What is the end?
To make
What
us
is
feel
the end of that means? What is the purpose of doing that? What is that for?
Yeah, what's the point and purpose?
hide all the land.
What fucking land? There's plenty of land. We don't even use most of our country. 95% of our country is unused, mostly because it's desert. But there's plenty.
And just about all of the land on Earth has already been claimed hundreds of years ago. You can't say it's a land grab. That's a weak ass argument. Try again.
You're dumb.
Oh, that's a very intellectually strong argument right there.
You're just like the previous.
Cool. Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
Somebody
story,
just did it, and then you said they can't do it. Wow, you're a fucking genius.
Don't mock me.
Flat Earthers wonder why no one takes them fucking serious.
Well, in their logic, it's I'm gonna deny every fact that you show me to prove otherwise, and then I'm gonna show you these things that are completely not factual and call them true. They say
No one takes
NASA is cartoons, yet all they have is
No.
cartoons to show it.
Seriously, because nothing is real.
We all have our own truths.
No, don't start with that bullshit because there's just one truth in this instance. It's not fucking flat, and you guys are morons. I'm gonna go away for a.
Yeah, go have a drink. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for someone to give me a reason why someone is trying to hide the shape of the
No,
earth.
you're not, because you're not a thinker. You just want to say no to the reasons. You don't want to think, oh, wow, maybe. You're not a thinker. It's obvious. Everyone.
You know, projection is a sign of weakness. Why don't you tell me why someone is hiding the shape of the earth? Why? What's the point? Can you answer that? I thought so.
Yep, we can answer it.
Okay, so answer it.
You first.
Math power land.
That's not an answer.
Okay.
You have to do your own research, man.
Do you have a?
I'm sorry, you broke off. Say again.
No, that's not an answer, bro.
How
I
about
said
you do
broke off. I
research
didn't hear your answer.
outside of YouTube? Pick up a science book, maybe. Pick up a physics book.
No. See, Cypher, that means they have to read something.
You mean beyond the title?
No,
Or
I got
cherry
something
pick
for you.
past
See, the
the,
thing is
footnotes.
I when I come to prove the globe Earth, I'm gonna actually have proof that flat earthers will believe.
Well, that's a monumental task because flat earthers don't believe anything.
Yeah, I know you don't want to step up to the challenge, but I will.
Oh, please. I offered you a challenge. Show me proof of the flat earth.
No, I'm gonna be working on proof of the globe Earth or whatever shape it is here, real soon. So I'll give me just a couple of days.
And you'll have proof of the shape of the earth?
I'm saying I'll have something to convince people one way or another. Then other here want to deny people's opinions like you. It's fucking hilarious, or like some. It's hilarious.
Up the optimism, but yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have a tendency to believe someone who's actually seen it with their own eyes. So that's why I tend to defer to the people who know that the earth is round and not flat.
Yep, absolutely. The opinion word referenced in that last statement would have been talking about the opinions of when you ask questions about why would they lie and stuff like that. Those
Well,
are
you just-
opinionated answers. Those are opinionated answers that you seem to want to argue with.
It's very telling how you continually run away from the question. You divert and however you can. You just can't answer.
What question?
Why
Question to
would the
me?
Earth
What question?
shape? Why would the Earth's shape be so controversial? Why would somebody hide that? What is the end
Myriad
game?
reasons. Myriad reasons.
Myriad reasons. Oh, so that's because reason. Fine answer. Hold on, give me a few seconds. I'm gonna go.
Myriad of
refill,
reasons.
and I'll
Right,
be
again,
right
because
back.
you want to argue opinions. You get what I'm saying? You've been answered
I'm not
thousands of
arguing
times,
opinions, I'm
and you want to
arguing
fucking argue with the answers. Go do some science.
Some evidence.
I already did science.
We've done plenty of science. Yeah.
I beg you to do the same.
There's more science in my toilet paper than the flat earthers ever actually performed.
Bro, great. Do some more if you want to prove it, because arguing about opinions ain't gonna work, bro.
It's already been done. You can draw on the body of knowledge yourself. Just Google it.
Right.
It's
Again,
freely-
so like I said, you want to spend time arguing about opinions because it's already been done.
No, I'm directing you towards
You're
scientific
getting
journals.
killed here, bro. You're getting killed.
I'm directing you towards scientific journals. Go and read those. If you disagree with them so much, put forward a theory and a paper to dispute it. Whatever you read, it's all out
Great.
there,
I will
publicly
do
available.
that.
You can do that.
Great. In the
Why don't you do that?
meantime, do you
Go
want to
ahead.
argue about opinions?
nuts.
In the meantime, should we argue about
I
opinions?
wasn't. I'm
Thank
not.
you. Well,
I'm not
there was
arguing
one
about
guy doing it.
myself. I'm saying go and look at some actual scientific books. Read some stuff. Read some physics books. Read some geometry books. Read some trigonometry books. Read some books. Learn some things instead of watching YouTube fucking videos and deciding it looks flat just because you walked outside and it looks flat. That's not researching anything.
Yeah, observation is not the end all of research, okay? Observation is the beginning of research. That's what a lot of you flat earthers don't understand. Just because you see it, you can't just make an assumption. You see it, then you test the theory. You test it. But you never test it. It just conforms to your belief, and therefore you just assume it to be correct and hand wave anything to the
And if
contrary.
it doesn't fit the narrative, yeah, you hand wave it away and make something up.
Or you do similar dishonest debate tactics, such as Lemon Bird, who just comes in with a bunch of word salad and gish gallop, making up words like optical, what did he say? Optical geometry and tactical geometry. Those aren't even terms. He just made them up. He's just throwing in words to make himself sound intelligent, which he isn't. That's all you have. You don't have any proof. Show me some proof. Show me some evidence. Show me something that you've done where you've actually done the work to try and find what the shape of the earth is without being prejudiced to being globe or flat. But you can't. Not a shred of evidence at all. But you still argue this. As I said, a religion is a belief in the absence of fact. I will take those crickets as an acceptance of your surrender.
Well, I like what you
Are
said.
you
I'm on and
asking
off. I think you are
people-
royally applying the you a lot, but you know, the last statement you made about like you said, I agree. The religion is belief in the absence of fact, but I kind of see where there becomes a gray area sometimes there. You know, like that is the whole flat earth argument. They want to say you don't have fact. People are going to say, you know what I mean? And that's where I think the gray area comes in a little bit.
No, not quite. There's not really a gray
So
area.
listen, when you're
science
communicating
has
with
never
somebody, when you immediately respond with no, it's a big turnoff, bro. You should learn how to ask questions and understand and make sure you hear that. That's terrible how you just talk to me like that. It's terrible.
That's funny.
You
From
need a
a flat
hanky.
earther.
Do you need a hanky in a corner and a safe space to cry in?
No, I'd like to have a progressive
fuck over yourself,
conversation. That's not a progressive way to communicate, man. You're
Okay,
not
fine.
listening when you do that. You're
Fine.
not listening.
Like I said, you want to have a progressive, legitimate, adult, factual, and no ad hominem conversation. Have one with me then. Show me proof that the Earth is not round.
I
Give
told you
me
I don't have
something-
that. I've
give
conceded
me
that.
For us
something.
to disprove a unicorn.
You're the burden of evidence is on you because you are the minority challenging a consensus. The burden of proof is
unicorns
on you.
No, that's where you're wrong because you're asking
No, that's
us
not wrong.
to
I'm not
go
wrong at all.
against our everyday
no,
I do agree with that. I do
perceptions of
agree.
the world.
The minority.
But the same, if people say they have proof of Earth of being round, that's when I feel like, oh, okay, you want to say you have it? Okay, put it on the table. But flat earthers should have to prove it too.
No, because you observe something the way you see it, and you don't observe anything being round.
Did I not
Earth
just say
based.
that observation is not the end all? Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you say. You say that observation is not the end all. We say that
commonly held
observation
fact.
plays a big part in how we perceive the world.
Observation is the beginning of a
It's the
conclusion.
beginning.
Not the
So
end of
where's your beginning?
Well, let's take all the thousands of pictures of Earth that we've got from space. We'll start there and move onwards. The Himawari satellites.
You
Shall we
can't
start
use
there?
an
How
image
about-
as
how about we
scientific
start with
evidence.
The sun rising off the east coast of Australia, where it shouldn't even be visible to me. On whatever, I don't know if you claim a model. I know a lot of flat earthers don't
It
claim any
shouldn't-
models
it
or maps or any of the gifts that
claim
go around.
anything.
But the sun rises in a really weird spot here for me, particularly. I'm in a really bad spot for anyone that if I were to meet anyone in my town that thought the Earth was flat, I probably would deck them for
Yeah,
being
that's
so idiotic.
And for crying out loud, all you flat earthers want to say, "Oh, well, were you there?" Cypher is actually there.
I'm
He's
here
telling you
every
what
single
he
fucking
observed.
morning.
Yeah, but you're testing your belief and referring to a
No,
model.
I'm looking at the sun rising off the east coast of Australia, where it shouldn't be every morning on any of the flat Earth models.
And why
I
it
hope
shouldn't
I
be
in
there?
air quotes, bringing them across.
And it shouldn't be there. Why?
So you've seen your little gifts with the sun and the earth, the moon rotating around at equidistant opposite ends from each other around the flat
Yeah,
plane.
well,
Yes,
I don't.
seen
I
that
don't
one?
have a model.
So you're
I don't
loosely
have a
aware of at
model.
least that one. So
I don't believe in
why
a
does the
model.
sun? So okay, well, what are we to go off
I
then?
have no idea
How
why
am I
the
to
sun
match
does
reality
what it
to
does.
flat Earth if you don't have anything for me to match it to? Whereas every time I match it to a globe model, guess what happens? Exactly predicted. The globe model exactly predicts the
which is
shut the
trying to
fuck up. Yes,
describe
the
reality.
globe model
No, because you're
predicts
relating
the
to a
sun will
model. You're
appear
talking
off to
about
my east
bullshit.
every single morning, and lo and behold, the sun appears off to the east coast every single morning. Seems to fit the globe model. Fucking funny that.
Let me break in here. Let me break in here a little bit. As you say, you don't subscribe to models. Do you know what a model is?
Yes, I know exactly what a model is.
Okay, describe what a model is.
Why do I need to describe a model?
Okay, so you don't know. Let me
understand
educate you.
Oh, you're
model
assuming
is
that
a
I don't know what a model
representation.
is because
Shut
I'm saying
up.
that I don't have to
Shut
describe one.
up. A model is a representation of another physicalized or conceptualized object. Okay? A model can be done through scales, such as when you have a scale model of a car. We can do this via math. Math teaches us, or math gives us the ability
Math
to.
does not teach us anything.
I corrected
We use
myself.
math
Can you
as
shut
a
up?
tool.
Math is the tool that we use so that we can make that scale model. All we do is take the exact same measurements, change the values of the properties of those measurements, reduce them by a particular scale, and then we get an exact scale model of something that was bigger, but now we have a smaller version of it or a larger version of it.
Do you believe
That's
maths
how
is
a model
reality?
works. A model is not just something you buy at the hobby store and glue together with all the
Do you
paint you
think
have.
math is reality? Do you think model is reality?
I'm sorry, but math is a reality because there's no
Math
refuting
is
it.
reality.
You can't
Numbers
refute math.
comparing you doesn't mean that they don't work.
Oh my god.
Sorry if
I know you're praying to God because you're getting destroyed, but God ain't gonna save you. Okay, math
not
is
religious.
reality.
I try my best not to hold beliefs. I'm just talking about reality here. You're talking about models and math. I'm talking about
Models
reality.
are a version of reality because they are mathematically scaled. Okay, do you realize that?
But they're not an accurate representation of reality ever.
Okay, so if I have a scale model, a 1/10 scale model of say a car, you're telling me that is not even remotely accurate at all.
No, it's not because it's 1/10.
Okay, how about this? Okay, all right. No, hold on. I'll play your game. All right. Now let's say laser scan, I did a 3D laser scan of that same car. I have a 1-to-1 CAD model of how to model that car exactly, and can have a 6-axis CNC mill cut that out of wood or metal or whatever, make an exact model. Are you saying that that model is going to be inaccurate on a 1-to-1 scale?
Can you touch it?
Yeah, you can touch it once the cutting's done.
And it's exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Exactly.
Shrunk down.
Exactly.
No. You guys, you see what he's doing right there? You see what he's doing right there?
It's not
He's gonna
reality,
say
my
he's
friend.
gonna say it's not exactly the same because
No, it's
the
not
engine
exactly.
wasn't modeled in
No,
that
it's not.
outside.
It's not reality. It's a copy.
Oh, so you can't copy anything in reality, right? There's no such thing as a copy in reality.
No, there is not.
Okay, so explain genetic.
Because car models would like to disagree with you.
What?
So
Well,
you buy a model at a car shop. You're going to ask for a particular
Anything that's a
model of car.
model of is
of the
not an accurate representation of reality, is it? Come on, just
a model line,
concede.
but the cars in a model line are going to be either identical to or similar to the same cars in that model line, aren't they?
Similar to is not the same. Similar to is not the same, is it?
Yeah, just because something is slightly
You keep
different.
referring to a model. Let's talk about reality.
We are talking
Yeah,
about reality. Just
mass production is reality. That happens in real life.
Because using a model is a really good way to lie about reality, isn't it? If you were to use a model.
All right. So how
All right,
many
let's
how
just
many
change the
Volkswagen
subject and
Beetles?
move on to something else.
How many Volkswagen Beetles were there on the planet?
No idea.
Okay, would
Absolutely
you
no
say
idea,
over
but
a
I'm
million?
sure you know.
Would you say over a million? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, you'd agree that there was a
Probably.
million Volkswagen Beetles, right?
I'd agree that there is probably over a million, yes.
I'm just saying in existence, whether they work or not or whatever. I'm just saying, like, let's assume that there's no such thing as rust or car accidents or anything like that. Just take all of that out of the equation. Just, were there say, hell, let's just say, can you make 10,000?
Yeah. Let's just make up some shit and just go into your world of fantasy, yeah.
Oh, my world of fantasy. Okay, see, already you're prejudicing this, so you're probably not going
Well,
to hear
you're just
any of
making.
this.
You're just saying. Let's just believe. Let's just agree with me.
No.
What I'm
You
just going to imagine.
You agree that there could be multiple cars of the same shape,
Maybe.
size,
Fuck
and
knows, I
design.
don't care. But yeah, maybe. Maybe I don't care. But yeah, maybe.
So there are multiple cars of the same
So
shape,
maybe.
design.
Maybe. No, I'm not going to agree with you and say there are. I don't know. I'm just going to say maybe in your world of imagination. Yes, maybe. Yes.
Is there more than one Ford Focus on the planet?
Yes.
Okay,
As
so
far
there
as I
must
know.
be more than one, maybe two, maybe 2,000.
Yeah, whatever. What's your point?
The point is that they were all made on a model. They're all built on a model. So
No,
if you're
they're all
saying
built in reality, based
because they're
on
built on a model
mathematics
into
and
reality.
geometry.
Reality.
It's
Yes.
programmed into a
Based-
computer with
based on-
numbers.
Hence are
And they
you?
only work. They only work in reality. And when they do not work in reality, then they change the model to fit the reality. You're talking over me. Why are you talking over me?
You're a moron.
You're talking over me.
Yeah, because you're a moron.
You don't build a car based on the model and it always
you
works.
do.
Sometimes it doesn't work, and then you have to
Whoa.
change your model.
You
Improve
don't
your
build a model.
maths for
Hold
the
on,
next time.
Hold on, no.
Is that not true? Do you disagree with
you
that?
stop
Really?
right there. You stop right there. You just said you don't build a car based on a model. So why
No, I
did they
didn't.
call?
I said
Why did they call cars as having a certain model?
what? Come on, think
maybe
about what you're
because it was
saying.
a model that designed it. It's the same model. Just like with
You
cell
guys
there's more than one
absolutely
iPhone 6,
pissed.
isn't there?
The what?
There's more than
Say again.
one.
Sorry.
There's
Sorry.
more than one iPhone 6 on the planet. It is not a prototype. It is a mass distributed, mass manufactured model.
Yeah. Based
which was
on
made based on a model of how it's supposed to be built.
Yeah.
Models are not always physical. Okay, that's a separation you need to make. You can
But
model
they're not
anything.
always correct either. And things change when you make a
Doesn't matter.
description of reality, and then it's proven to be wrong. You change your description of reality,
No,
and
you're
that is
sidestepping
changing
that.
the words,
You're
changing the math.
sidestepping the fact. You're sidestepping the fact they have a blueprint for how to build an iPhone 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever, right? They have a blueprint for how to build anything that is mass manufactured. Mass manufacturing relies on taking one model and repeating that model over and over and over and over again. That is reality. So to say that
is
taking a
in
copy
the
of something
iPhone 6,
is not
am I
reality
wrong
is
in saying
ridiculous.
that?
And the blueprint was
And there was
made
flaws.
with math. Okay.
Yes, the blueprint is entirely math, actually.
Yep.
And
Understand?
sometimes they were false. They were wrong when they built these phones based on models. Sometimes they were inaccurate.
No. They built it off the same model. Errors may have come up in production in the actual execution of that model. That has nothing to do with it. There is a base model, a base design that is used to mass manufacture things. Just because there are errors in the execution of building that model
So
does
your
not
point-
mean that they're all different.
Let me stay
okay,
on
I
some
see where
time.
you're coming from.
What did you mean
What's
when
your
you said
point?
you can't have a? What did you mean when you say you can't have a copy? What did you mean by that?
You asking Silent Her?
The guy who said that there can exist copies, or what? Isn't
Oh
that
no,
what it's all about? Been 10,
you
15 minutes
you
on it?
can never have an exact copy if it's a model of reality. You can't have an exact copy now.
Every
Okay.
CNC
Thank you for
operator in the
elaborating. I
world
appreciate
will
that.
definitely disagree with you.
I think there is some sort
would-
of theory that says you can't ever have a perfect copy. I think that is a standing.
It doesn't matter about whether it's a theory or whatever the little guys with little clipboards in little white suits tell you. You cannot have an exact copy of anything in reality because it's far too complex.
So you're trying to use the
No, I'm not trying to
infinitesimal
use anything.
imprecision.
It's obvious.
See, you
Please
can't
don't
even let me
argue his
finish.
opinion.
It's
Shut
never
up.
been done. It's never
Shut
been
up.
done. It's
You
never
don't
been
need to
talking
mean
proven.
the
out
exact
like
same
you
thing
talk,
to
like I
have
did.
the same thing, dude.
Let's
You
come
understand?
to
To make two
understanding.
phones the same, you don't have to make them exactly the same, atom to atom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can't make it
Atom
exactly
to
the same
atom.
atom to atom.
What the
So
fuck?
what?
What's an
Okay,
atom?
that's a lack of precision, but there's still a basic model, a basic framework of how to build it. Okay,
Absolutely,
just
we're going to
mentioned
agree
an
with
atom.
that.
Who
It
just
doesn't
mentioned an
matter
atom?
that you're down to the freaking micron. Okay,
Stop! You're arguing his opinion now. Why are you doing this? That's
Who's
what
just
he meant
mentioned
when
an
he
atom?
said.
no, I'm saying that doesn't make any sense because just because there are variances,
Just because it
in
doesn't
how
make
you
any
execute
sense to
the
you.
model does not mean that there wasn't a original base model to begin with. The AK-47. Look at the AK-47. Sloppy tolerances because of poor manufacturing. But you know what? They were all built the same way. Just
Okay, this
because
guy
they
is
had
making a
variances
different
in tolerance.
point that I wish you could hear so we could move past it. Okay? And then you wanted to make a point. When you asked him about copies, you had a point. He shared he has a different understanding. Now you've
Okay.
shared your understanding again.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
these
no,
are just.
let him, I'm sorry. I apologize. Let him present his case. If I had failed to listen to him,
No, I think everybody agrees with everything both of y'all have said. Let's just move.
well, I want to
on.
be
Made
fair.
my point.
I want to be fair, so I want to hear his point.
Oh my
This is no time for prayer. Just make your point.
He was
I've
like
got-
he said exactly. Go ahead. Sorry, I thought
Yeah.
you were.
No. Sorry. I'm done.
I'm just saying, for someone to answer you in the negative to that question, right? I mean, that does beg, for me, further probing of communication, right? If you're to say, you know, you don't think there can be a copy of something, we all know that there's photocopiers, disc copier, models of cars that are copy. I mean, like it's common stuff. So if someone's going to answer no, right? That's where you should ask them more and probe into them more, because you talking back in that, I don't want to say patronizing, but with that general knowledge, you know what I mean? Like it seems to me the wrong direction.
Well, let me just make clear what I was trying to say is that these copies that we make of things, it doesn't need it doesn't need someone to keep building it over and over and over again. You can make something from a copy, and you use math to determine that copy. Let me take it to a
Have you
simpler
ever
point.
known
Okay,
any-
cool.
Let
Have
me
you ever
take it
known
to a
any
simpler point.
copy to be
Let
an
me
exact representation of
Okay,
reality?
no.
Have you ever known a copy?
Let me take it to a simpler point, and
Have you?
actually a very definitive. If I take an
Have you?
image,
I'm
if I
asking
take
you a
it-
question here. Come on, don't obscure it, man. This is your point. Have you ever known a copy to be an exact representation of reality?
Yes.
Example?
As I was about to get into, I copy.
You Ford Ranger blueprint. That's an exact copy.
No, I use that for bird cages. But you want an exact copy, okay? So if I copy an image from my browser to my desktop, I will get an exact copy
Of reality. Of reality. So
It's on my
copying an
browser.
image to another image is an exact representation of copying and
Are
reality.
you
is it?
saying two
on my
iPhone 6s
browser.
are not the same phones?
Oh my god.
It's on my
fucking
browser.
moronic.
And they're
What you're
reality.
saying is fucking moronic.
So
You're
you're
not
saying
An
that
exact
photograph
representation, a copy of
So
reality.
let's say
That's
you
what I'm
went to
saying
the
to you
beach.
now.
So let's say you went to the beach and took a picture of your friends on the beach, and then you went and sent them all a copy of that photo. That's not an exact copy
What, of reality?
of reality.
The
because you took a
image in the
picture of your
first
friends on the beach.
instance is reality. The
Picture of your
image
friends.
in the first
You've gone and
instance
taken a
is
picture.
reality,
You've
in your
gone and
opinion.
taken a picture. So you want to talk over me. You've gone and taken a picture of your friends at the beach. In reality,
Why
you
would
then
you
send
take
them
a
picture of the you send them a copy of the picture. I'm not finished speaking yet. So you send your friends a picture of the photo you've just taken in reality to them, so you can all remember that day for the rest of, or however long your storage
You
lasts.
share it on Facebook.
You share it on Facebook. You put it on the internet. It lasts forever. Then that's an exact copy of something you've described in reality. Yes, with a photograph.
No, not something. I never said.
reality.
I never said something you described in reality. I said an exact copy of reality.
Photo, not an exact copy of reality.
He just gave you
Oh,
one,
what,
dude.
a photo, in your opinion, is a copy of
photo
reality.
Details of people's faces, and you can remember them as
See,
not.
don't
All right,
argue. He
all
has
right,
a meaning.
no,
Let's
hold on,
understand.
I don't know why I'm arguing with you, Muppet.
Hold on, Mr. Man thinks he wants to get to what exacting is. Okay, let me tell you what exacting is.
There's a difference between natural and synthetic. Natural
Okay,
and
no,
synthetic.
hold on.
So
no, yeah, there is a
photograph
difference. That has
is
nothing to do with it.
synthetic.
That has nothing
Yeah,
to
and
do
you
with
have
the
a
conversation at all.
photograph
You're
which
wrong.
you claim is.
So
am
you're
I not allowed to speak?
it's synthetic in this photograph that you're taking.
I'm
are
not
ya?
talking about
Is
a CGI copy of a CGI copy or a photograph of a photograph. I'm talking about a
about a
model
photograph of you and your friends
being
at the
reality.
beach.
I'm
Physical
talking
reality
about
photograph.
No. Let me
Why
break
the
this
fuck
down
are you
for
still
you.
talking?
Exactly.
Let me break this down for you real quick, okay? So you can understand. When you take a picture of your friends at the beach with your DSLR camera, that data is stored as numbers, values in every byte in a file. Every
Not
byte
really.
in that file, every byte in that file is a representation of the graphical image that you have taken with that camera.
Yes.
Then you take
Correct.
that image. Yes, okay. You agree with me so far. Good.
I
I'm glad-
agree. Yes, it's not reality.
Good.
Yes, it's
Okay.
a graphical
Okay.
image.
No, don't jump
Only
off the train yet.
no longer reality.
Stay with
I'm
me.
agreeing
Stay
with
with me.
you.
Stay
Yes,
with
it's
me
a
here. Stay with
graphical.
me here. Okay, stay with me here. All right. Now you're on the train. Okay, that's good. All right. You have that picture in your DSLR camera. You take your DSLR camera, you connect it to your computer, you share that picture on Facebook. You have just uploaded the exact data that you have taken in reality. You have just
Not in reality.
duplicated that image to Facebook when you uploaded it. Did you not? Did you or did you not update your Facebook status with that picture in reality?
Yes, you updated it. In reality, you updated it in reality. An
So you
image
accept.
of something that happened in reality, which was not reality when it transformed from reality to ones and zeros. It's not reality. How can you think that an
You
image is
accept
reality?
that the digital data that comprises that image was exactly copied to Facebook, shared to all your friends, reinterpreted when they loaded it up on their device.
Listen, right? If I took a photo of something that I knew was reality, yeah, then I would know that that photo that I taken was a CGI image of that reality. But unless I took the photo, then how would I know that it was an accurate representation of a reality at the time?
Well, that's kind of trying to push a genetic fallacy. And by the way, your mic is
No,
clipping.
it's not a fallacy. If somebody else, right? So there's a few different types of information that you can declare as true.
Well,
Can I just speak for just a second, please?
No, your mic is clipping a lot. I'm just trying. I just want to jump in just to say your mic is clipping a bit. It's a little raspy.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, you sound much better now. Okay, I just want to let you know about that part because I want to hear you clear.
You know, if for an accurate representation of reality, when you're hearing it secondhand, there's a few different types. So I would say the best type of information, let's just say instead of reality, let's say information based on what we know to be true. So if somebody tells me something that's supposed to be true, then I would believe it to be true to a certain extent if it's somebody I trust and it's somebody that I know that was there at the time. But if you're going to base any belief on an image or a story that somebody's told you can kind of see where I'm going with this, surely. Somebody you don't know when they wrote it, when it was written, if it was changed, then how can you base that as a fact?
What is the likelihood?
Boots on the ground information is the best.
What is
Boots on the ground information? So people you trust. And then you still question it. If my wife sat next to me right now said, "There's a chicken burning in the oven," I would take that. I couldn't smell burning chicken in the atmosphere, and the fire alarms weren't going off. I would still take what she said maybe as a fact, and I'd go and check, and I'd question myself, but that's still, kind of the best example of good information. Is somebody that you trust.
Well, that brings in the argument of plausible credibility. right?
Exactly.
Your wife says that. Your wife says that, even though you personally yourself and your
It goes against all your senses.
in
Sorry.
no, I'm sorry. No,
I didn't talk over you then.